The detail of the stories. A former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, is optimistic that Ghana's upcoming election will be successful. He also commended President Akufo-Addo and the two main political parties in the country for committing to ensure peace and stability before, during and after the general election. He was speaking at a meeting between the West African Elders Forum from Nigeria and political interest groups in Ghana.
Over the past 4 years, the West African Elders Forum, which was established under the Supporting Democratic Transitions and Managing Political Emergencies project of the Goodluck Jonathan Foundation, has significantly supported peace and stability within the West African region. With only 58 days more to Ghana's elections, stakeholders are holding discussions on how to ensure peace before, during and after the general election. The polls will mark Ghana's 9th consecutive election since the inception of the Fourth Republic in 1992. A former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, who is leading the delegation from Nigeria, explained the importance of the forum's efforts, stating that their mediation is part of a broader strategy to prevent election-related conflicts throughout West Africa.
Most of the conflicts in Africa, and indeed West Africa, originate from poorly managed elections, and one thing will lead to the other until the system would collapse. And for that, the West African Elders Forum felt that before election we should engage the key stakeholders. During the elections we'll also be around. After the election we'll be around to see if there are gray areas. We'll work with the stakeholders in the country to suppress all the rest.
Former Liberian President Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf commended Ghana as one of West Africa's most stable democracies, stating that the nation has earned a reputation for conducting peaceful elections and 2024 will be no different.
All elections have all kinds of differences and all kinds of negotiations and all kinds of things. But I think the authorities of both the ruling party and the opposition know exactly how to get together to keep in peace, to keep the peace, and to make sure Ghana continues with a sustainable development that has become a showcase for the world.
The West African Elders Forum, convened by Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, is a non-partisan homegrown platform comprising former heads of state and elder statesmen and women from West Africa.
The Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. John Kingsley Krugu, says the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, is a security threat requiring collaborative effort and not the work of one particular institution or agency. This is one of the comments Mr. Krugu made on the menace when he appeared before the Assurance Committee of Parliament on Thursday, October 10, 2024. The chairman of the committee, Mr. Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa, displaying water samples from different water bodies affected by Galamsey, asked why the EPA had failed to ensure the water bodies and environment were protected. In response, Dr. Krugu noted that the illegal miners wield firearms while carrying out their activities, and as such, the EPA cannot do much.
It is a collective responsibility. There's no single agency that is involved in the permitting, regulating, compliance, monitoring process. And I can also say that among those clients that we have permitted, I can say that what we are seeing is not coming from them. So the part that we have to permit, because they have come with legitimate documents from the Ministry of Lands, and as a result, we need to permit and make sure they do the right thing. We are doing that.
To suggest that the angst against LI 2462 is not grounded as per your reasoning and analysis of the situation.
We need your support for us to lead the process. I would say at a forum I wouldn't mention the details here, I said to the group that can you let EPA lead this fight? Within 1 month, with the support of the military, these things will be over. So, Honorable, I think we should just make the law work. That is what our problem is. And we are all guilty as a nation. We are guilty.
Away from Parliament, the convener of Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Ken Ashibe, is calling on Ghanaians to rally behind the Red Band campaign initiated by the coalition, beginning as part of ending illegal mining in the country. According to him, the coalition wants the revocation of permits issued by the government to some people to mine in the forest reserve be implemented now.
If you look at the demands that we had made as the Ghana coalition, because we've been involved in this for a long time, it's not just the revocation of the LI that we talk about. You also have to bear in mind that government has already, through the Minerals Commission, has issued a permit for some people to mine in the forest reserve already. So our ask is for the revocation of those permits that have been issued. Up to now, that we don't have any visibility that is being done. We know the government said it suspended the airline. That should mean that the EPA should not, as of yesterday, stop signing any permits that have been issued. Or you don't want a situation where people will come and say, have you got it under law? So that's why it's important that the President, His Excellency the President, issues an EI. So there are still some issues that remain unresolved in this our particular fight. And then even in terms of what government has said, there are a lot of, you don't have a lot of certainty in terms of timelines, when what's going to happen, who is going to do that. For example, the issues around the court. Even an interesting observation that all of us should do is that organized labor were quoting 14 specialized courts, 7 circuits, 7 high courts. But if you look at the government's paper that they issued, they talk about 4 of the court. But even with all those 4 courts, or 17 or 14 courts, as the labor said, we know that the Minister for the Justice and Attorney General was lamenting about how long some of those cases were taking, and then the Chief Justice was also in there. So what is going to change to ensure that all of that is done? And so that definiteness is what is absent. The reason why we are calling on all of us as citizens and not spectators, as those who are the subject of this country. If you look at the preamble of our Constitution, it clearly states that to then be able to bring some pressure to bear on His Excellency the President. And the things that he said he's doing, he should see them to an end.
The Omanhene of Doma traditional area, Osiadeyo Ajiman Bedu, has commended the NPP government, particularly Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, for bringing the Agenda 111 project, where the NPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, called on him at Doma Hinkru. Nana Ajiman Bedu said many doubted the ambitious project, but the progress work on these hospitals show the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration is delivering and they revolutionize the health sector of the country.
The presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has begun his possibility campaign tour of the Borno region. As a feature of his campaign, Dr. Bawumia first pays a courtesy call on traditional leaders of the area before he starts his campaign. When he visited the Doma Central constituency, Dr. Bawumia and his campaign team first engagement in the Doma constituency was a stakeholder engagement with Omanhene Osiadeyo Ajiman Bedu and other traditional leaders in the constituency.
The NDC has been stated.
There will be Downton Thomases. Because they will be so social media this one. And they always say, side magic, to send a very and I say, for them,
the NPP Member of Parliament and parliamentary candidate for Doma Central, Mr. Kweku Ajiman, called on the people to vote for Dr. Bawumia because he is the main man for such times.
Now, strong. Dr. Bawumia go to know. Uncle 3 times as much as Meme did. I just have been out. Say, but you're young for rally Nasipra. And so, now, 24 baby actually, be a young man to the Kakra. So, Kudoma, hire my pa.
Dr. Bawumia, while outlining his numerous policies, said his focus will also be on solving youth unemployment in Ghana.
We say digital skills. You're training 1 million youth in digital skills. Digital skills no the man in Kroha who will be no way Juma America and Canada or now Australia right from here in the domain in Crow. Other areas in sports development, in tourism, in creative arts, industrialization, Juma Ama Memoro.
He said he will address the issues Nana Ajimambedu has put before him.
Media Yamiadum, Otomamia, Yamiadum Metimedi, Omampeni Fiwatri, yes, sir. Enti Mesamba Habio, Mebaba Bunkunta, Mebaba Chile acquire Metimiaye, Etima, Mebaba Chile phase 2 of the airport, Metimiaye, Mebaba Chile different projects, Metimiaye. Enti Minim Semebanti. The
president.
The NDC's flag bearer, Mr. John Mahama, has again stated clearly his plans of resetting Ghana from the current economic downdraws when elected back into power. Mr. Mahama was on a campaign tour in Damongo in the Savannah region, where he presented the party's vision encapsulated in the 2024 NDC's manifesto titled Resetting Ghana for Jobs, Accountability and Prosperity. Mr. Mahama's message resonated deeply with the people as he outlined plans to transform the nation's fortunes.
As he gears up for a comeback, the campaign shifted to Damongo, where Mr. Mahama passionately articulated the NDC's transformative Big Push agenda aimed at driving large-scale infrastructure projects across the country. He elaborated on key initiatives across various sectors, including health, education, agriculture and industry, signaling the NDC's readiness to rebuild the nation and restore confidence in governance. In response to claims by opponents that the NDC would cancel the free senior high school policy, Mr. Mahama made it clear that the program is here to stay under an NDC administration. He stated, anyone playing politics with free SHS, claiming he will cancel it, is a liar. Instead, he vowed to improve the free SHS system by expanding infrastructure, enhancing the feeding program for students, and abolishing the vexations double-track system that has frustrated many parents and students. Mr. Mahama reassured the people of Damongo that all store development projects in the region would be completed under his leadership. He outlined his vision to develop industrial hubs in key areas, improve road infrastructure, and address the growing issue of insecurity, including the rise in armed robbery attacks. His comprehensive plan seeks to create a safer, more prosperous Savannah region with ample opportunities for economic growth and development. The traditional authorities in the region warmly embraced Mr. Mahama's vision, pledging their support and urging him to fulfill his promises to the Damongo people when he assumes office as president in January 2025. They expressed hope that under his leadership, the region would witness a new era of progress and prosperity, particularly in areas crucial for enhancing livelihoods. As Mr. Mahama's campaign tour continues through other parts of the region, he urged Ghanaians to choose progress and vote for jobs, infrastructure, and a more accountable government.
You're still watching Breakfast News live on GTV. If he wins the 2024 elections, the presidential candidate of the Movement for Change, Mr. Alan Kojo Tremanten, would amend the 1992 Constitution to enable chiefs to engage in active politics. In his view, the exclusion of chiefs from active politics in Ghana is unfair because chiefs are agents of development just as politicians. He would therefore ensure their involvement in active politics to speed up Ghana's development. Mr. Alan Tremanten was speaking at the launch of the 25th anniversary celebration of the Omanhene of Tepa in the Ahafo North municipality in the Ashanti region.
The Tepa traditional area, the gateway to Asanteman from the north, had its current Omahini Nana Edusei Atwenewa Ampem, who is also a sub-chief of Asanteman, installed in 1999, about a decade after the death of his predecessor Nana Kwame Wia. The current Omahini is credited for the rapid development in the Tepa traditional area and has witnessed since his installment. The anniversary launch featured a free health screening and free registration onto the National Health Insurance Scheme. The event was witnessed by hundreds of people, including religious leaders, students, government officials, and some politicians. Among them was Mr. Alan Chemating, the presidential candidate of the Movement for Change. Addressing the gathering, he commended the Tepahene for presiding over the development of the traditional area. Alan Cash, as he is affectionately called, described the chiefs as agents of development.
Na nyame madom na sabede to Ghana man nimu a se yempe kwan a yebema ya hemfo ani titu ahema no so no yemfa omunka aye amanyo samu aye local government titu a.
In his address, the Omahini of Tepa, Nana Edusei Atwenewa Ampem, thanked the Asantehene Tumfo Seitu for giving him the Tepa stool after 16 years of his succession dispute and supporting him in his efforts to develop the traditional area. He spoke about the upgrading of a teacher training college in Tepa to a university. The actual celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Tepa Mahini will commence on 18th October and feature a variety of events. An anniversary cloth and logo for the festivities were unveiled. Plans for an anniversary project, a 5 million cedi events center, were also announced.
On the foreign front, the United Nations Children Agency says 1 in 8 girls and young women across the world have endured rape and sexual violence, with the high number of victims recorded in sub-Saharan Africa. UNICEF published its first ever global estimate on sexual violence against children, revealing that 79 million girls in 1 in 5 in sub-Saharan countries hit by conflict and insecurity had experienced sexual assault or rape before turning 18. Now let's have the weather update for today.
Yes, thanks so much, and good morning to our dear viewers and listeners across the globe. For today, we expect it to be variably cloudy over the upper regions, especially the upper east, upper west, northeast. And those of us along the coastal strip, Greater Accra Central, Western, and parts of the Volta region. The middle into the transition zone, we have a rainstorm that engulfed them this early dawn today. We expect it to propagate westward to affect the other areas. So those in Uti region, part of northern region, Savannah, into Bono East and Ahafo, we expect them to have cloudy weather with a possibility of scattered cases of rain and thunderstorms. For tomorrow, Saturday, into Sunday, we expect the day to start with favorably cloudy conditions, misty with foggy patches over the forest belt that's going to affect their visibilities. We are anticipating it to be less than 5,000 meters. So motorists that may be using the road at dawn to travel towards Nkoko, towards Ebriko, Foridia, towards Volta region, Central Western, and then Bonogo, Sunyani, Wenchi areas, the Chiman areas, we expect them to travel cautiously, especially when they are doing night travel or early morning travel. For the afternoon into the evening, we are anticipating a rainstorm to affect the country into Sunday. We are anticipating it to be the late afternoon into the evening, and then later in the night towards those the morning hours of Sunday. And the areas of interest is mostly the southern sector and just a few portions over the northern sector. In terms of the state of the sea, we expect it to rain between the calm and rough. And we are anticipating some rain and thunderclouds also over the ocean, especially if they want to navigate towards Nigeria, Cameroon area. For the Volta Lake this morning, those in the OT portions is not advisable, but afternoon into the evening hours, the sky will be okay for them to navigate. Tomorrow morning into the afternoon is also pretty cool, but late afternoon to the night that we are anticipating the storm, they need to stay tuned to the marine forecast deck so that they will be updated and know how to plan their night navigations on the Volta Lake.
That was Felicity Ahafanyo from the GNet giving us that update. Now let's have the Alpha winning numbers for Excel Thursday. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Excel Thursday, 89, 26, 52, 49, and 82. The Alpha Lotto winning numbers for Thursday Excel, 89, 89, 26, 26, 52, 52, 49, 49, and 82, 82. We'll be back with more on the Breakfast Show after this break. Don't go away.
Live from GBC.
welcome to GTV Breakfast, the day after the Black Stars earned a point, which is good news. But the bad news is that we have only 2 points from a possible 9. The good news for Coach Kwesi Appiah is that I think he got the best result possible. Yes, he didn't score his country, but he went back with a point.
His boss might not be happy.
No, but they were doing attack, but Black Stars were all over them.
It was crazy. But that's why I felt that the boys had every opportunity to bring this home to us and to, make it worth the 2 hours it took to drive through that traffic to get to our sports stadium.
Something but how we go do it? We didn't lose.
Chances were there.
We didn't lose.
This is where the calculation begins.
Yeah. Right? But then now, the US, Canada, and Mexico seem just a step further away
this
from
one's
us.
AFCON qualifiers. So this one's AFCON, so we are fine for now.
We are preparing, we are using all these as training grounds.
These are friendly.
And to boost our repertoire.
This one are
so
friendly.
That we can
friendly
go
games.
to US, Mexico, and Canada.
This one,
so
they are
if
friendly
we
games.
Can go to AFCON.
Oh, it's friendly games.
How do we?
They are friendly games.
Well, welcome. What do you make of the performance? You didn't watch the game. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp message 055-556-1034. Let me start from the end. At the end of today's show, you will know what the roles of men and women in marriage are, if you don't know already. Yeah, so we have Reverend Dr. Kwesi Edu and the Reverend Dr. Nana Yausu Prempe sitting down, marriage counselors sitting down to give us the juice on the roles of men and women in marriage. Let us know what you think those roles are, even ahead of their time coming here. 055-556-1034. Tell me what's on your side of the world.
I'm sitting with the ladies to look at all the stories that are making the news in and around us. So the headline segment, the NDC rep will be here, Nana Dubia, and the NPP rep Tabitha Ayala will also sit with us and they will share their thoughts on topical stories. So all the stories, the big ones that are making the rounds, we'll touch on it today on the tape.
Well, on my side, another party takes its turn on Manifesto Watch, the National Democratic Party, a breakaway from the NDC and the party formed by the former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo Agyeman-Rawlings will be telling us about its all-inclusive governance. So Mr. Mohammed Frimpong, who is the presidential candidate for the party, would give us, elaboration into the policy document of the party going into the 2024 elections. We're just 87 days away from the D-Day. So that's what's on my side. Send in your questions early to our WhatsApp number 055-556-1034. Jay, over to you. What's up?
Thank you so much. Top of the trends is Ghana versus Sudan, of course. Yeah. And of course, the fact that we couldn't show the match. How did you guys feel yesterday? We gave a release and everything. We will explain everything.
Some people were at the stadium too.
Oh yes.
Others were at the IDEC forum that was held yesterday. The Catholic bishops are going on their march today and yesterday.
Oh yes, so later on in the show, during the headlines, we'll go to the Holy Spirit Cathedral, try to bring you some scenes of what's happening there exactly, how they are preparing to embark on the peaceful prayer walk, and bring you the quote of the day as well. But just after I do the quote of the day, CAF has something cooking. Yeah, that is it.
Okay, so when I think of CBD, I think of Central Business District.
Yep.
But today we have CBD in the kitchen. So we have this recipe is called stuffed kinky with exclusive chili sauce and CBD drink. Erica, why? Erica and Constance are the people who come up with it. Erica is the one who comes up with the names. And it's Cakes Boutique and Decor who are giving us our breakfast this morning. I don't eat on Friday mornings because I know I'm going to eat here by the grace of God. So you stick around. When we do the quote of the day in a couple of seconds, or this is 1 minute or so, we'll come back and then we'll be in the kitchen and they'll explain to us what this CBD is. Welcome to the show. This is GTV Breakfast. A tasty morning lies ahead for you. That's why I wear my apron. Oh, see you in a bit.
Bye. money, tokens, but nobody actually came personally to console him. And then that's when he realized that, oh, this lifestyle of his, he needs to change it. So he realized in this life, you can't do a number of things by yourself. You need your community to help you with that. And so this morning's quote says, a bird will always use another bird's feathers to feather its own nest. Let me take that again. A bird will always use another bird's feathers to feather its own nest. It's a Zimbabwe proverb which is pointing out to how people rely on others for support. No man is an island. Yes, we need other people to help us in this world. We can't rely on ourselves alone. So if you need help from someone, please reach out to that person. Yes. And so I want to go to the kitchen now, where this morning Boscaf is cooking stuffed rice. I know he's cooking stuffed rice for the entire staff of GBC, or is this stuffed rice? The names confuse me. I don't know. Cakes Boutique. Yeah, let's find out more from the kitchen, shall we?
Okay, so Jay, thank you very much for the quote about the feathers and the birds and the poor rich man. We're here in the kitchen. It's stuffed kenkey, and the stuffed is STUFFED. In Americans have stuffed turkey. We have stuffed kenkey, courtesy of Cakes Boutique and Decor, who are bringing us stuffed kenkey with exclusive, chili sauce, man. Exclusive chili sauce. And then you have CBD drink, which is the one I'm dying to drink. Ladies, hi. Constance, hello. Erica, you are the name generator, more than ChatGPT, man. How about you, ladies?
Yeah, good.
How was the week?
Doing good.
Cooking some interesting stuff?
A whole lot.
More business?
Yeah, more jobs.
More students?
More
jobs. More orders?
More money.
Thank God for that. More money. That's it. Okay, so talk to us about the ingredients we're going to use to make. Okay, so this is I can see the kenkey.
The kenkey
so
is
the kenkey
ready.
Is there.
Yeah.
What kind of kenkey is this?
Fancy kenkey.
Fancy kenkey. Okay.
So right. our pickled fancy kenkey, and then the chili sauce, we're going to use blended tomatoes, onions, and pepper, green pepper, ginger, and garlic with a little onions in it, and then oil from our fried fish.
Okay, the fried fish oil.
Yes.
Okay, and of course you have your tomatoes and green pepper.
For garnishing other stuff.
For the garnishing?
Yes.
So this is the meal part of things?
Yes.
This is the drink part of things?
Yep.
The CBD?
Yep.
Explain the CBD to me. You made that name. So where is the CBD?
Okay, so our drink was inspired by our brand name.
Okay.
Which is Cakes Boutique and Decor, CBD.
Oh, okay. Cakes Boutique and Decor. All right.
And the initials of the fruits. So carrots, banana, and dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit. I don't see some before. Dragon fruit.
It's also called Pattaya.
Pattaya. We learn something new every day. So that's the CBD.
Strawberry pear.
Yes. Strawberry pear.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's start with our stuffed kenkey and our chili sauce. Exclusive chili sauce.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. Okay. All right.
Okay. So we start with our oil, the one we used to fry our fish.
Okay.
We want to have a fish juice.
Okay.
In it. So start with it. So I like to get hot a bit, and then you can drop in our chopped onions.
Is everything going to go inside?
Everything's going to go inside.
So let me have it on standby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's so good at that.
Ah, yeah. The oil smells fishy.
Yeah. So let it heat up a bit. So when it heats up a bit, then we just drop it.
Okay.
You can perceive the aroma.
Oh. It's going inside?
It's going inside.
All right.
Right.
Let me be stirring. The basic things, allow me to do them. I need the complex ones. Yeah.
Like molding bounce.
Yeah. This one I got to do. If I can't do this one, my little chef son will not be happy with me.
Daddy.
That was always the chef,
I wanted to cook with me one day.
Then you teach him this way.
Oh.
He likes to cook.
Oh.
He's a pastries guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll be putting new recipes together.
Yeah, brownies and things.
Maybe you'll be giving me the names and
yeah.
I'll suck Erica.
He uses ChatGPT to cook.
Okay.
He goes to ChatGPT and says, listen, I have all these ingredients in my fridge. Okay. Give me a recipe. Then ChatGPT will give him a recipe.
That's awesome.
Then he goes and cooks them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try some one of these days.
Yeah. Just look at what you have and then you make a recipe out of it.
That's awesome. Now it's make life so easy.
Yeah, that's it. Fish flavor.
So the fish flavor with the onions and then garlic, little ginger. What's so good?
What do you stop from crying in the kitchen? You know, sometimes the onions make you feel like crying.
Always.
Is there any remedy?
If on maybe a fan close to you, while the fan blows on your face, you are good to go. Another woman also told me when you chew maybe toothpaste or something.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard if you chew chewing gum, you stop crying.
I don't know the science behind that, but I have not tried it.
Next time, bring some chewing gum here.
So we cut it and see if it will work.
Yeah, while we are cutting the onions, I'll chewing. Okay, so that's your onion and your garlic. What is this?
So that's the pepper.
Give me the simple one. Use this or this. I can use this.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to cut it.
No.
So this pepper.
This pepper. Pepper blended with onion.
Pepper blended with onion.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just mix it in.
Yep, mix it in. I don't add more pepper. It's also the same thing.
Same of it?
Yes, same of it.
How do I feel that this should end up inside the kinky? This your stuffed kinky here. Is that what you call baby?
Yeah, Bailey.
Okay.
It's a nice idea. I'm going to add a little water. Add it our salt to taste.
And this is?
Fish fries.
Fish fries. On top of the fish oil?
Yeah. So it will be so fishy. I'm going to drop in that.
And this is your green pepper?
Green pepper.
Give me some crunch.
Yes, give me some crunch.
What was your worst day in the kitchen?
There was one time I had an issue with my burner. So I called somebody to fix it for me. Unfortunately for me, he couldn't fix it well. So whilst I was baking, I smelled gas. I was trying to find out where it was, and boom! My face.
Explosion in the kitchen.
Oh my God. Half of my face was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was baking.
Wow, that must have been scary.
It was so scary. It was so quick too. But luckily for me, because I knew few of my first aid tricks, I did my first aid trick, did the treatment on my face. I rubbed egg and flour.
Egg and flour. If something blows up in your face, you get burned.
Yes.
Egg and flour.
Yes.
Quickly.
So when it goes down, you just rub in some milk on your face. It takes off all the heat.
Okay.
And then
Where did it hit you?
My face, this part.
I don't see it though.
Yeah, it's all going. Because of the first aid.
Wow. Egg and flour.
Egg and flour.
It neutralizes the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll take a bit of it.
How about if something hot, if hot oil pours on your skin? What's the first thing you should do?
Soft solution, a very thick soft solution.
Okay.
So when you put a lot of salt, small water, rub it on it, immediately it takes off the heat in it.
Okay.
After it takes off the heat, it will go, the heat, the pain and everything will go, it will stop it from swelling too.
Okay.
So there'll be no swelling.
So kitchen first aid?
Yeah.
How about hot water?
Hot water, same treatment.
Salt solution?
Salt solution.
Okay. So this is our...
Tilapia, fried tilapia. So I want to add a little more water so that the taste will go into the sauce.
Why are you adding water?
So that the juice will go into the fish.
Okay. Should I turn it?
Yes, please.
Can I turn it?
You can turn it. Okay. reduce the fire so that it can simmer gently, so that all the juice will go into the fish.
How about if you cut yourself accidentally? What's the first thing?
So what you do is put the cut area under a running pipe. Okay. So when the pressure is being poured on where the cut is, it will clot the blood, and then the blood will usually stop. You can just put either alcohol or your salt solution on it.
So while you're working on the stuffed kenkey and the exclusive chili sauce, I see Erica is cutting up the dragon fruit.
Yep.
Okay. You take the peel off.
Yes. The dragon fruit tastes more like pear. A bit sweeter than pear.
It's not a fruit, or is it a vegetable which is purple like that?
Beetroot.
Beetroot, yeah. I'm sure our old grandmothers were using it for dye. You see the
I told Erica this thing can be used for dye because the color is strong.
It's really crazy.
Such a strong color.
I'm sure they were using it for dye.
And can you see? It said it.
Food dye.
I'm in the spirit.
Very, very, very dramatic color. It almost looks like blood, right?
Very strong. But to look very beautiful and using it for maybe a garnish or
It gives some color.
Yeah, you don't need to put so much.
I heard that said that your food should be as colorful as possible.
Yeah, it should be colorful. One trick of food, it's just 3 things. It should look good because you eat with your eyes. It should smell good. Like you perceive the aroma that will urge you to eat more, and it should taste good.
Look good, smell good,
taste good.
Okay. So
I'll need Erica to continue with
CBD stuff.
So we are going to start by blending our carrots.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit hard, so we blend that one first before we add the rest.
Generally, is that the rule? You go with the hardest first?
Yeah.
Generally?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm thinking the banana will go in last, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it makes sense though that the thing has to work hard to grind the hard ones.
Yeah.
And then the soft ones don't need to work. So the carrot is going in.
I'll blend that with my yogurt.
Okay.
You can add sugar if you want to.
We are still hustling. Today is Friday. Let's have fun. Let's take you way back.
Another bag. Pataya, aka 1 fruit, 3 names like that. Okay. Okay. And then you add your banana.
Add the rest of the yogurt.
Okay. Now, because of you guys, I'll be doing all kinds of crazy smoothies like this one. Pure inspiration.
When you do, just hook me up.
Yes, I will. Okay. Awesome. Okay. See. Okay. Nice. So our CBD is done.
Yes. It's so simple.
It's not Central Business District. Cakes, boutique and deck for CBD. Okay, carrot, banana, dragon.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so now back to the kinky. You're gonna stuff it.
Yes.
With.
Okay. So we have videos of how our kenke is made. So this kenke is served with meat in it.
There's meat in the kenke?
Yes, there is meat in the kenke. So we walk you through how it's done, so you can see how we inserted the meat inside the kenke.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to cut it so you can see.
So you cook this thing with meat in it?
Yes.
So guys, if you're wondering, we'll post this video up on our social. Come on, man. This is looking like some yam, you know, with some core. Really? The people at Yamransa will be looking at this today and thinking,
Haven't you done enough? This is
stuffed kinky. Hey, Cakes Boutique. Are you serious? So what kind of meat is that? Tuna?
No, cow meat.
Beef?
Yeah, beef.
Oh, man. So, Erica, when do these ideas arise? Like midnight?
This idea was fun. We were just like, let's do something with kinky. So let's put some meat in it. Like, oh, how can we do that? Like, no, we can't actually do this.
Are you guys serious?
Then boom.
How did the meat enter the kinky?
So first of all, we cut the meat into slices and then beat it with the meat tenderizer. After beating it for a while, we sealed it side by side, folded it, tied it with a yarn, and then boiled it. After boiling, we took off the yarn and then fixed it into easy way.
You can put your meat for your cake inside. That won't be the problem. Proper accept. Hey.
So we're going to serve our kinky with everything kinky comes with.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, so everything you know we serve with kinky.
So that's tuna?
That's tuna. Tuna goes in here. Sausages goes in there.
And then you got some sausage?
Yeah.
What kind of sausage is that?
Chicken.
Chicken sausage?
Yep.
And then you got your... What's it?
Baby tilapia.
Baby tilapia?
The mother, that's the baby.
Is it like a Keta schoolboy that has grown up or something?
Yeah. Advanced
Keta schoolboy. Yeah. The Keta schoolboy who has gone for 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
Yes. I fry egg.
And you got some egg too. What is this? What is this?
Yeah, our veggies on the
side. It doesn't end it?
No. Our veggies on the side. So everything kinky is by yourself.
You guys, you over with today. You over with today. The platter.
Full kinky platter.
Wow.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Yankson. What are they going to say there? Amen. Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Stuffed kinky right there. Exclusive chili sauce. And then you have all the accoutrements that go with kinky. There's an omelette here. I don't know why they call it Spanish omelette. It's Ghanaian omelette. You've got some fried fish.
Yeah.
You've got some tuna. You've got some chicken sausage. You've got some... this is a tilapia that has a PhD or something.
Yeah, that has gone
to Harvard. Level.
Yeah, Harvard.
Harvard
trained
tilapia. I'm sure that's going to be another recipe for you people. And then you have your stuffed kinky with the meat inside. Beef inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have your CBD drink, carrots, banana, and dragon. So you have a video which shows us how you do the kinky.
Yes.
Let's check it out. If you're wondering how the meat got into the chicken, into the kinky. Okay, and the whole process really of the food. Stuffed kinky with exclusive chili sauce and CBD drink. Okay, all right. Wow.
So at this process, we're now beating the meat so that it will be easy to tender and also to eat. So we seasoned it with spices, fish, meat spices, and also some oil, soy sauce, and some chili.
This is how the meat entered the kinky?
Yes.
Okay.
So you press it so that all the seasoning will incorporate in it very well after you fold it.
You folded the meat?
Yes, you folded the meat.
Like sauce?
Like towel. Then use your yarn.
Yarn?
Yeah, to tie it.
So is the yarn inside the food?
No, we take it out.
Take it out?
So you fold it nicely and tie it nicely.
All right.
Just roll it all over.
And then?
After rolling, put into our stock.
The cameramen are just smiling. Oh, this wahala for food.
Before we cook it, we have to leave it down for about 5 minutes so that everything will go inside well.
What's happening here?
So this is our chili stock with soy sauce and all the seasoning we used for the meat. So we can have it all over in and also around it.
And you cook it?
Yeah, we cook it. So when it's tender, the kitchen fork goes in it smoothly. So now we take off all the yarn.
You're taking the rope off?
Yes, taking it off.
It's like a spring roll?
Yeah. So if you want to know it's ready, you can easily cut through it. So I cut through it to confirm that.
Then you build the kinky around it?
Yes. So it means it's ready and tender. Now with the kinky, we use yellow corn and white corn together. So I use 3 cups of the yellow corn and then I mix it together with water. So I use 5.5 cups of water to mix it together. So after mixing, I place it under a low heat and stir it so that everything comes together to a nice sweet mold.
Alright. So this is the kinky?
Yes. It's quite easy. So everything came together in a nice sweet mold. It doesn't really take much time to put this together. Don't allow it to cook. If it's well cooked, your kinky comes out like bamboo. So just when everything comes together, it will be fine. Off the fire, bring it down, and add the rest of the corn dough. So I added extra 3 corn dough to it, stirred it together beautifully. And then I was ready to do my molding.
Is this when the meat enters?
Yeah, the meat will be entering soon.
So you need to hand over to Jay pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you guys choose the music or we are choosing the music? I like the music.
Okay, so we lay our plantain leaves.
The plantain leaves?
Yes. Okay. We washed it well and then we mold
the kinky.
Yeah. So before you mold it, you spread it first.
Okay.
After spreading, then you put your meat in it.
The meat is going inside?
Yes. Just like that.
Then you cover it?
You cover it, yes.
Like you're tucking your child to bed?
Yes, very inside.
That's it?
Yeah, very inside. Fold it.
Okay.
And then you tie the edges.
Then you just go and bake it?
And you boil it.
Boil it?
For about 5 hours.
That's it. Tie it back again. Yeah. More time.
More time.
The chicken with this up also.
Yeah, we are cutting it some.
Tying it like the devil.
Like our life depends on it.
Unplug it. Tie it like the devil.
Add more time then for.
Find the devil. All right, then you cook and you boil it.
And
that's it.
About hours.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And then so it comes out looking like this when you cut it.
Yes.
So that's our food right there. Wow. Thank you so much, Cakes Boutique and Decor. How can we find you? How do we reach you?
Okay, so we are located at Tetebu Wager. You can find us there. Give us a call 054-896-3385. Erica Social.
And join us on all our social platforms. We are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And that's our kitchen business this morning, 11th of October 2024, with our people from Cakes Boutique and Decor. I love it. And we're going to hand over to a very hungry Jay. A very hungry Jay. He's got the social media corner rumbling in his belly. Here he comes.
Corner. We're yours truly, Jay Gabra, that GTV boy. Top of the trends, Black Stars versus Sudan. After a stand talking to the other day, this is the GFA's president's entrance to the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday. That was him actually exiting the stadium, heading towards the dressing room. Hopefully, another motivational talk followed. Kwesi Appiah showed us a lot of respect, and this is him greeting the Ghanaian bench before the match started. You can see him in the pictures over there, greeting the players. It was a very lovely scene to see. Let's sound up a bit on that. So that was a live touch, a nice touch we saw over there. And then later on, there's this video that popped up on social media where Jordan was speaking with Kwesi Appiah, and the manner in which he was speaking, it's created some speculation all over social media. For those of you who haven't seen it, here's the video. And so it's the speculations abound. It's like, when exactly was that video taken? Was it before or after the match? Some also saying, some comments on X saying that was he trying to convince Kwesi to come back because he wasn't happy with the result from Ghana? It's like a lot going on. So if you go on X, for instance, you find that video, and it's like top of the trends. It's like that's what's happening. Now, another social media influencer, Kwame Obodie, he's known for his some of his funny content, and sometimes, even though it's funny, it's still serious matters he's talking about. Now, this was him. I know Thelma said earlier about staying in traffic for 2 hours before they got to the stadium, before they were able to watch the match and all. And this is him trying to get into VIP at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Sports Authority, someone you're ready for e-tickets, don't even dare. Obi a chat ticket, VIP ticket, e-ticket. You're coming to Fasco Stadium. The harmony said me could do inside the crown. Not VIP winning in I am ma. Miss me contemu me quiet crown sana. Born a crown, your barber chassis. I have to sit on the floor. So I shall be a tenor, a quine finia, will be before our cottonasana. I want a tenor because I was forced to sit here because there was no place for me. Me have investigation and conform a tenor crowd, they didn't even buy VIP ticket. How?
That was his experience. At least he still made it into VIP. If you think about it, you weigh the pros and the cons. Some people didn't have tickets, but then again, it's Ghana. Some people, they can teleport and enter anywhere. Anyway, so you know that moment where you're in a public transport and somebody tries to get up and preach, and then some people are just, oh, not again, you know, stuff like that. So after the Black Stars match, another video which is trending. Akabeneza, it's trending all over social media. I know why I'm laughing. I want you to laugh as well. Enjoy this one.
It's a blaster team no crack meboa eja there adey now nya botresa who distract me. It's a blaster team no crack meboa eja there adey now nya botresa who distract me. It's a blaster team no crack meboa eja there adey now nya botresa who distract me.
Anyway, so that's the extra stuff based on Ghana versus Sudan. Another great performer Ghana has a chance to boast about this episode, and he's out with the latest one called Chobwe. I had a chance of experiencing his live performance at Trigmatic and Friends, and I must say his crowd work is amazing, especially when he came in to sing the viral hit in Nkrumah Where He Dey. And this one is Chobwe. You know, enjoy snippets of the track.
So them they lie with confidence. They chop the money so them printing more currency. Freedom of speech, but
interesting times ahead. Great music coming there from episode. Another musician who is set to release his latest album, his 6th studio album, Up and Running, is Stonebwoy. He has shared snippets of the track online, including the track listing and everything. 4 tracks are already out, including JJJ. There's also Your Body and Pray For Me, which is featuring Wyclef Jean, Stonebwoy in your shot at the moment. And he shared a teaser on socials. And if you look at the current picture, Up and Running, you realize that the running, the G at the end is a 6, showing that, yes, this is his 6th studio album. Remember the 5th Dimension, right? And this one is Up and Running, number 6. Yes, it has 13 tracks, 4 of them already out, including Pray For Me and Your Body. And now let's take a teaser that he shared on his socials.
Up and running, up and running, up.
Raising from 0, now man a hero. Come on, lyrics. Oh, John never leave, I know. Memories, memories, memories. None way, no cover by you.
So come the 24th of October, that album will drop. We're looking forward to it. Up and Running. And speaking about running, have you ever run away from school before? Yeah, trying to deny it, we all know. And sometimes you just want to cut class and go and do your own thing when you think nobody will notice. And yet, for these people we are about to show you, their running went so wrong, so wrong. Of all the ways it could have gone wrong, I'm sure they themselves didn't expect it to go this wrong. How wrong did it go? Enjoy this one.
Nice one. Hey! Where are you going? Come here. Come here. I was suspecting you, these guys. Who bring the idea?
So this boy.
Akua Samuel, come forward. Why always you? Akua, why? It's not always me. Now it's who?
So the mass you are learning is hard.
It's hard. That's why you are running away. You come forward. So what topic were you learning?
Say.
What topic were you learning? You are not brilliant. What topic?
The teacher was discussing about construction, and I said 90 degrees, and the 45 degrees was half by 90 degrees.
So why didn't you bisect?
I bisect by the construction was become a perimeter.
For me too, I can't bisect, so that's why I'm running.
So did you learn a linear equation?
Yes, I learned the linear equation, but the linear equation doesn't fit by equation.
And the mood.
So where is the median? Come forward. Where is the median?
The median has vanished.
You. What grade did you get in JHS?
60.
60. It will be 60, because this is your head.
You know what's amazing about it? Sometimes the people you cut class with, they have mind. And they know what the subject is about. So when they cut class, during exams, they will pass. And yet, you remain where you are. So please, do it well. Sometimes the work we do, we need some kind of energy, you need some motivation, to keep you going. And for these laborers, this is how they decided to have their work and happiness. And
first, I'm going to it's Mukoshia. Namotonium say, only other traps, and Namukoshia, Namotonium say.
Hey, I don't know what you. Yeah, and say, Bruno. As a man says, yes, and the first one would be at them near never go.
Sir,
your car was a beer. Kumasi churches, no. Now, Omasum, Yehovah Yejiwaje. Ah, Udina ye kamfo. Udina ye kamfo. Hallelujah. Oh, yes, sir. Near the Bunufoni in a brekum sunyai. If you name him, dear sir. In the Abasa answer, so say, Abasa, Tono say, sorry, we have to do it. Abasa, Bunufoni to Soma. Ah, and then they say, why a day? Was it? You're not. Nyamiasuma bebesi benko.
Omudiano.
Jona, Nyamiasuma bebesi benko. Beko dia be bonsu amini be, Beko dia.
All right, so there's no doubt Familias very soon is trending all over social media. We love the tune, and he had a chance to perform it at Glitch with our very own Inchin band. We've adopted them last week. We were there with them at Open Jam, and this performance, of course, is amazing. So this morning, enjoy very soon from Familia at Glitch. Here we go.
Furious and you best be I and search it. The I should be I and search it. Yet I see quite the HDS. And tell my friend furious and you best be I and search it. The I should be I and search it. Yet I see quite the HDS. My G cool down, don't stop. Time they cool down, don't stop. Plenty enemies on top. Silence only, don't shout. I saw your mouse and pen, I have a Machiliama, I want him here. I saw your mouse and pen, I have a Machiliama, I want him here.
You know, a lot of the times you hear heaven from very soon, and you think that's the title of the track. Please, the title of the track is very soon, we beg. So from here, there are Glitch Africa, very amazing performance. You know, there's something about live band when they do, Inchin does their Inchin. You know, they do all their styles and brilliant performance over there. I've heard about construction work going on, and when they meet certain areas, they have to go and appease the gods or something, because they may cut a tree, and when they come back, it's not the stump they left there the night before. When they come back, the tree has grown again. We hear a lot of mystical stuff like that. So they go and pray to the gods, and so that next time they cut the tree doesn't grow back overnight. So this video we are about to see, I just want you to let me know what exactly happened, because I've thought about it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what is this?
Sembe my Ghana. What you do, Cabrania?
Anyway, it still beats my mind. This is all for Social Media Corner. Akosha is standing by Studio 5 to bring us sports, and oh, why, she looks lovely and amazing this morning. I wasn't familiar with her game before, but today I am. Let's go to Studio 5.
on GTV and GTV Sports Plus. My name is Akusia Eche. And so yesterday, Ghana shared spoils with Sudan in a keenly contested 2025 African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 qualifiers.
The highlights from match day 3 of Group F of 25 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations qualifying. Ghana against Sudan, and Ghana looking for their first victory of the campaign. Semenyo couldn't control that ball that came into him at chest height. Instantly knew that he is missed costly. And then Sulemana had a strike for Ghana that was spilled by Mohamed Mustafa in the Sudan goal, but he made no mistake to deny Mohamed Kudus on the follow-up. Kudus looking to score the goal on his maiden appearance as Ghana captain. Semenyo played a neat 1-2 with Jordan Ayew. Antoine Semenyo just couldn't hit the target, only finding the side netting. And then Sudan, a lovely free kick, expertly tipped over by Lawrence Atizigi in the Ghanaian goal. And that launched a flurry of a short 2-minute period of Sudanese pressure on the Ghanaian goal. This header from Kashoum, almost going in, but just drifting wide of the post, and then Iñaki Williams playing it in to Kudus once again. Mustafa really alert in the Sudan goal, always so quick to come out when he spotted danger. He did it time and again in this game, and to really good effect. Alidou Seydou, the only man to score for Ghana in this qualifying campaign. So Williams, who fluffed his lines, but not as badly as Kudus, who couldn't turn the ball over the line from 6 inches. I'm not sure the goal should have stood had it gone in, because Williams looked offside there, as you can see. He definitely got a touch, and he perhaps spared the blushes of Kudus, who could not finish when the whole goal was gaping at his mercy. He came forward again, Kudus trying to find the goal, and then Williams offside again, seemingly forcing a save from Mustafa, and then Abdul Fatawu could only blaze over when the opportunity spilled his way in stoppage time at the end of the game, and still Ghana kept coming forward. Semenyo couldn't get on the end of that cross, and Williams, with just about the last kick of the game, it was the last kick of the game, curled one past the post, and as that drifted.
Well, after his side's blank draw against Sudan, coach Otto Addo said he's confident that his team deserved a better outcome against Sudan at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday. In his post-match press conference, Otto Addo reflected on the mixed chances. According to him, the chances were there, a lot of chances, but this is football, and sometimes it is very hard for the team.
The thing which was missing was the goals, and surely we have to work on this. We have some few days to analyze it, how we can score better. The chances were there, a lot of chances, but this is football. This is football, sometimes very, very hard, difficult for us. So now it pains even more. The Niger game pains even more. And also the last minute goal against Angola pains even more, because today, again, we did well, and there's nothing much I can say. And just the results, and this is the most important thing in football. It's not correct, and I think we deserve to win, but we didn't. And we will stay positive, and we will beat them away with the same performance, the same passion, the same creativity up front. We will beat them away. Let's have your questions.
Do you work on this team to be able to at least take their chances to score a lot more? Because today in the final third, so many chances, but it looks like that, vibe and, vibrancy from the team to finish off the opportunities was missing.
We will try to train finishing and give them confidence. That's all. This was the only thing which was missing. The spirit was good, the passion was there, the defensive discipline was there. It's just about to finish the actions. That's all. That's all. And yeah, Sudan was very lucky today. And next time we see them in Libya, they won't be lucky. Then we will. That's all. Coach.
And now to the camp of South Sudan, where the assistant coach, Ignatius Osei-Fosu, admitted that it was a very difficult game against Ghana, but their solidity in their defense handed a precious point in the game. In his post-match presser, the gaffer described the draw as a huge boost for them, having faced a very stiffer and tougher opposition, but still stood on their toes to at least avoid a defeat away from home.
Ghana played so very well. I think it was hard luck on Ghana's side, because there were some footballs. My goalkeeper, Mustafa, said I never thought we would see. So for me, it's hard luck on Ghana's part. Very, very well. But again, was defensively solid. We knew it was going to be hard because we had the fans against them, and so they were going to come hard at us. So we were only waiting for some counter breaks, which I think we had 2 or 4 of them, but again they didn't play that for some defense.
Well, later on the show, we're having a discussion on this particular game, analyzing everything that went on in Ghana's blank draw against Sudan. In other stories, the 2024 Ryder Cup Team Championship has ended on a high note as Achimota Golf Course Ryder Cup South team emerged the winners for amassing 53 points, 5 points to beat North team, who went home with 38 points, 5 points.
The Ryder Cup team competition is organized for golfers every year, primarily to raise funds in support of charitable works across the country. Although the format varies from year to year, the tournament usually involves competitive encounters between players selected from 2 teams, the North and South. The 2-day championship at the Achimota Golf Course had each team parading 40 golfers. Golfers from the 2 teams then displayed the stuff they were made of during the 18-hole event. Day 1 for the men saw Alan Mugisha from Team South winning the longest drive in Hole 1 prize. Mary Prempe, also from Team South, won the ladies' longest drive prize. The closest to the pin prize went to Lee Holdren. Day 2 had Alan Mugisha again from Team South winning the longest drive in Hole 2 prize. At Hole 15, Alan Mugisha won again, with Mary Prempe picking that of the ladies. At Hole 9, men went to Eduardo Castana. Vasti Amuafoyeboa won the ladies' prize. At Hole 12 for men, Mark Dubb won the closest to the pin prize. Mary Prempe again won for the ladies. At Hole 16, Nelson Leslie won the closest to the pin prize, whilst Fendo Mulala won the ladies' version. David Hepburn won the 18-hole prize. Organizers were grateful to the sponsors.
With the Ryder Cup, it's not really about the competition, but it's about, the people you meet. And it brings together people, and everyone is here to compete, but also to have fun. And that's why we really respect the Ryder Cup and the tradition.
For me, it's the first time I'm playing in this competition, but I know it has tradition, certainly here at Achimota. And it's been one of the most successful competitions we've had here in the years. And I certainly look forward to being part of it again going forward.
So in 2001, there was supposed to be a Ryder Cup in America. That didn't happen because of the tragedy there. And the residents here decided that they will also host their own Ryder Cup. So ever since then, the Ryder Cup has been held. But it moves to other golf clubs. But finally, it was brought to Achimota in around 2017, and they've been coming back every year.
Team South amassed a total of 53.5 points to emerge the winners of this year's event. Organizers of the Ryder Cup are expected to use the funds raised at the 2-day tourney for charitable operations around the country.
22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal is set to retire from tennis at the end of the season. The 38-year-old will represent Spain in his final appearance at next month's Davis Cup finals in Malaga. Nadal has barely played over the past 2 seasons because of injuries and suggested last year he could retire at the end of the 2024 season. In a video released yesterday, Nadal said he is here to let people know that he is retiring from professional tennis. According to him, the reality is that it has been some difficult years, the last 2 especially. I don't think I have been able to play without limitations. Nadal will retire as the second most successful men's single player of all time, behind
Where we for do.
So if for do
Piso, Rise, Rocky Dawouni, our favorite reggae musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love Rocky.
Yes,
multiple.
Indeed. Yeah, Grammy nominated. Big time. He will bring it home one day.
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
Yes.
The Black Stars couldn't bring it home yesterday, but life goes on. Life goes on.
We must rise.
We must rise. We must rise. We must beat Sudan when we go to their home.
Double fingers crossed.
And shout to our coach, our former coach.
It's possible to draw in game one and go and win away.
But I was happy to see Coach Kwesi Appiah
shaking hands with his former colleagues. And there are many Ghanaians who call themselves friends of Kwesi Appiah, who still have lots of love for him. So it was a homecoming, it was a draw, so at least everybody went away with a point, right?
So. What's the big one here?
Screen time. This is the Ghanaian Times, and it's leading with the fight against illegal mining. Military swoops on Galamsey's 18 shank funds, 10 pumping machines, other equipment destroyed. Details on page 12. The military is pictured setting some of the mining equipment on fire.
That's all we want. Next paper. Big one. Centralized governance system must change, says a really serious and pensive-looking Ochihini or Sajifo. I'm waiting for a penny.
Just one is teaching Uganda how to tackle waste. So Ghana is exporting some knowledge to Uganda in terms of waste management. And we see that story again on the front page of the Chronicle. But Galamsey is also there, and it's this time a Bongo boys, in quotes, move into action, destroy Shankfan machines on Birim River.
Philippians 4:19, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
That's your Chronicle.
We like it.
Daily Analyst.
Today's big story on the streets of Accra. Some traffic expected to hit you. So if you haven't left home already and you are on that stretch, the Catholics will hold a prayer walk today as part of the Galamsey fight. You can see a number of the clerics pictured with that story.
Okay, and so, Vomawa hospitalized. That's one of the big headlines there. Daily Dispatch, which one is the big one? Focus on the 3 female running mates in 2024 elections. You have Miss Elizabeth Sam, Dr. Isaka Akrizi, and Professor Opoku Ajiman. Okay, that's your Daily Dispatch.
I quite like the NPA responding to fears that there might be gas shortages sometime next week in response to some of the stories that we've heard. We have enough LPG. There is no need for fear and panic. NPA seeking to allay fears. But if you're experiencing any, reach out to us and let us know. We'll follow up on that story. It's the Informer that is next on our screen. EC committed to successful elections. We are seeing a photograph of former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan with EC boss Madame Jean Mensah.
Okay, from the Informer, who are informing us, to the Daily Searchlight. Bawumia to bring Ghana's next independence. Chief claims. Okay, so that's the big one there.
It says truth or blasphemy. The Daily Statesman, military drives out Galamsey's from Birim River, Chim Mine, past, present, and future. So lots of mining stories in today's edition of the Daily Statesman.
Indeed. And
that is the last paper. Okay. So we'll look at some details of that story and then we'll get on with it. When next we see you...
Yes, we're talking about the role of men and women in marriage. If you don't know, you will know today.
I'm sure you'll learn new things.
I will. And Alhaji Frimpong, who is the presidential candidate for the NDP, sits down with Matiti after headlines. So you stick around.
So thank you. Yes. We'll see you on the other side.
All righty.
Bye-bye. Bye. strongly supporting the hashtag Stop Galamsey Now as part of all our efforts to make sure that our rivers and our water bodies are safe from the dangers and the impact of illegal mining across the country. When you see the bottles on our table, it is our own protest against the illegalities being perpetrated by some individuals and bringing the consequences, dire ones, onto communities near and far from those water bodies. And in solidarity with those calls, across the country, a lot has happened with calls for strike and strikes actually being put into effect. Today, the clerics are hitting the ground to try and bring you some details as we receive them. They call it the prayer walk against Galamsey. We'll see if we can get you some details on that. At the table this morning to help me analyze the stories of the day for the camp of the NDC, Nana Adubia Kelly is a member of the national communications team for that party, and she's joined us. We are waiting to be joined by Tabitha Ayala, who is a member of the national communications team for the NPP. She's yet to join us, but she's told us that she will. But Nana is here, and I'll start with you now. It's Friday. A week has gone by. A lot has happened during the week. And I'm sure that you have a few things that you would like to put across to Ghanaians. What's on your mind this morning?
Good morning, and good morning to viewers this morning. We are in an election year, so it's mostly about that. But we did it last week, and I still want to do it. Breast cancer awareness. Since we are women, and we have female friends, we have female siblings, sisters, we have children, colleagues, and all that. Mothers. Yes. I said it here last week that we shouldn't always wait for October to do this. At least those NGOs who are into this can be doing it within the year. Because let me say you detect this thing around this time, October. It might be late, or there might be little you can do to survey that situation. But if we do this early, or most of the time, it's part of our daily lives, I think we can detect things early, and we can help ourselves, help family, get our teenage girls close to us, try to help them, teach them how to detect some of these things, let them know what it is. Because I went to the hospital and I saw most of these teenage girls, and I was shocked. Even some of our male friends, our husbands and all that, maybe 1% out of that, they should also try and check. And we should mostly take the spiritual aspect of these things out, because we do more of these spiritual things and it comes to affect us later, and we are not able to salvage it. So if we can do that. Then back to politics, I want to greet my constituents, Ablikuma West, my hard-working chairman, Bright Ahuto, and the women organizer. They are doing a yeoman's job for the PC, and John Dramani Mahama, our flag bearer, the former president of Ghana, His Excellency. And I asked that region, constituency, and national go help that constituency. The grounds are fertile. The NDC is doing well. We are working. We want to take that seat back. It used to be ours when we were in the south, before it was divided. But since it was divided, it's gone to the other side, and we've never seen any developments since then. I'll keep saying it. Yesterday, I used the main road, and it was full of potholes.
The main road from where?
The Dansuma main road. From the roundabout to the other roundabout. Even to the last stop is west. The second roundabout, that's the exhibition roundabout. When you are going around it, it's bad. And I was thinking, if someone is driving in the night and doesn't know that place, it's going to be something else. So for developmental projects, it's always been the NDC. So I pray the constituents there to this time around vote for the NDC massively, because we've done this and we can do it. We've continued to do it. I remember when the MP herself, when we commissioned the Millennium Schools there, she said that she would never stand anywhere and say NDC had not done anything in the constituency. That goes to prove that we've really worked in that constituency since 2012 until now. So we are in the constituents. We are the only ones who can bring development to that place. So they should vote the NDC massively for our PC, Reverend Kwekuado, and vote massively for JDM to bring, or we should reset this nation together. We pray for change. Thank you.
There are a few top stories that we'll be looking at or trying to look at in this hour of conversation. Of course, the environmental prayer walk against Galamsey, which will happen today, is happening today by the Catholic priests. We'll be focusing a bit on that. The security agencies have resolved their misunderstanding at Misiga checkpoint at Bawku. If you would recall, there were some disturbances there between the Ghana police, the immigration, and the military, and some shooting incidents were recorded, but the agencies have smoked the peace pipe. Perhaps we'll get some perspectives on that. The NDC is on the tail of the Electoral Commission again, this time about the Electoral Commission's plans to print the ballot papers. The opposition says that certain procedures need to be followed, certain principles need to be followed before that can be arrived at, which is the printing of the ballot papers. And they believe that since that have not happened, then the papers cannot be printed. The EC says it is not printing ballot papers today as it had earlier communicated, but rather printing only the notice of polls. So we'll get some details on that as well. And of course, the Galamsey conversations continue unabated related to the prayer walk. Small-scale miners calling for a restriction on the importation of Shangfang machines. Remember that those machines help keep some of the equipment that they need afloat on the boats, and they use it sometimes to even dredge river bodies in the prospect for gold. We'll get some perspectives on that. Perhaps I'll start with the issue of the security agencies and their resolution of that misunderstanding at Bawku. So this is a video that we came across showing some of the scenes that happened, which was cause for concern among certain circles. And we are particularly happy that some understanding has been reached. So here is a piece of what happened at Bawku. So that's what we've seen. And here is a statement that the Ghana Police Service released after that incident. Security agencies resolve misunderstanding at Misiga checkpoint at Bawku, and the statement says that on the 9th of October 2024, a misunderstanding ensued among personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and the Ghana Police Service over an intercepted consignment of smuggled cocoa bags at the Misiga security checkpoint at Bawku in the Upper East region. We wish to state that the Ghana Police Service yesterday, 9th October 2024, intercepted the smuggled consignment based on intelligence, and were in the process of escorting the truck to the Bawku Divisional Police Command for the consignment to be handed over to Cocoa Board, and the culprits investigated and prosecuted by the police in line with established protocol with Ghana Cocoa Board. For the record, the police recently intercepted smuggled cocoa beans on 2 occasions within the region and the intercepted consignments were handed over to COCOBOD, while the suspects are currently being prosecuted by the police. It is therefore untrue that the police were in any way facilitating the smuggled consignments as being claimed. In the aftermath of the incident, the leadership of the three state security institutions promptly intervened to resolve the matter at the national level to maintain harmony and restore cooperation among the agencies involved. Meanwhile, the Regional Security Council, REGSEC, under the chairmanship of the Upper East Regional Minister, is also meeting the personnel and their leaders at the regional level to complement the efforts made at the national level. So that's the statement by the police yesterday with regards to what had happened the day before yesterday. And we'll get the thoughts now of security analyst Mr. Adib Sani, and he'll be sharing some perspectives with us. As we get Adib on the line, let me introduce Tabitha, who has joined us at the table. Tabitha Ayila is a member of the National Communications Team for the NPP. Tabi, welcome.
Thank you.
Your good friend Nana has given us her thoughts of the day. It was about breast cancer, encouraging all women and even men, because 1% of the number of persons who get breast cancer are men, to get tested, especially because it's October, even though she believes we should do breast cancer awareness throughout the year, not just in October. What's on your mind this morning before we get into some of the details of the stories of the day?
Yeah, good morning to yourself and to all viewers. It's been a while.
A minute.
Nice meeting you, King.
Pleasure to be back.
Sorry. And I think last week we started this breast cancer issue, and I think, was it last Wednesday, I actually went to a health expert to check me because, you know, it's a good thing to always have routine checks done. I always say women, we have to be very self-aware, especially when it comes to our health. Apart from breast cancer, you can talk about cervical cancer. That is another worrying issue in women. You can talk about fibroid. You can talk about other things that women need to be very, very careful about. I always say men, normally when it comes to reproductive health diseases or challenges, apart from prostate cancer that they will get in their old age, that is just about it. But with women, you can talk about cervical cancer, you can talk about breast cancer, you can talk about, they call this fibroid and other things that we will always have to battle with. And so it is good that you have routine checks. That being said, I also want to use this opportunity to congratulate the labor force of Ghana for putting the welfare and the interest of the nation first before anything else. I saw that before they called off their strike, essential service providers already came out and made their intentions known to Ghanaians that we will still go to work, we will make sure that we do our work, but of course we are in support of whatever Labour Front will be doing at the end of the day. And I think that shows that these are statesmen and women. They care about the ordinary Ghanaian. Imagine that because of protest, if I'm sick and I go to the hospital, I don't get anybody to take care of me. I think that it wouldn't have been a good thing that all the Labour Front went to a halt. I don't think it would have been another good thing. That would have been another problem that we are probably trying to create in disguise. I always say, look, in trying to solve a problem, just make sure you are not creating another one in disguise. And I want to say thank you to the Labour Front. Thank you for putting Ghana first. And I know that with the commitment that the President has made so far, and with the new interventions that they have implemented, I know it will yield results. I saw a news item where they were saying that the military personnel and other security service people have gone to these unapproved areas, illegal areas, that people are there mining, and they've started taking some action. I think that is the way to go. And I know very soon the LI concern and where the mining forest reserves will also be done away with. Ghana cannot be built by just an individual. And the Galamsey fight cannot be fought by just one government. It is supposed to be a collective fight. It's supposed to be all stakeholders coming and getting involved. It's supposed to be done without attaching party colors. That's the only way we can kill and deal with it.
Tabitha, we'll get to the Galamsey massacre in a short while. For now, let's focus on some of the things that happened in Mesiga around the Boku area earlier on this week. The police, the military, all the security agencies really, including the Immigration Service, that have the collective duty of, making sure that the right things are done at the checkpoint, entered into some kind of misunderstanding and some shots rang out. We've invited security analyst Adib Sani to share some thoughts on this. Adib, thank you for joining us this morning. I want to find out from you if the statement by the Ghana Police Service explaining from its standpoint what happened at Mesiga leading to those shooting incidents you find satisfactory. Do you find the reasoning behind the statement satisfactory from your point of view as an analyst on security?
Okay, so first of all, let me say good morning to you and your guests, and of course your production team. That is business as usual. I mean, it is not the first time such an incident is happening. It's not the second time. It's probably not the third time. And the closure to all this is usually a statement, and that is it. We wait for it to happen again. But the fear is, if care is not taken, the next time it happens, someone might get killed. Maybe accidentally, maybe deliberately. Shots were fired, all right, but I don't think they pointed their guns at each other and shot. I mean, it was just more like a scare tactic.
Warning shots?
But who knows? Sorry?
Is it in the nature of any of the security agencies to fire warning shots at each other?
I mean, the entirety of the whole incident is wrong. It's unprofessional. Excuse me, it is stupid. Okay, it shouldn't even have happened in the first place. And so when the shots were fired, anything could have happened. I mean, a bullet could have ricocheted. It could have deflected. At the point of lifting your gun up into the sky to fire or down to the ground to fire, you could have, accidentally discharged. Anything could have happened. And it would have, elicited a response from the other side, which would have become a security nightmare to us. So I don't think a statement is the way to deal with the situation. I am calling for a comprehensive, transparent investigation into the issue, which would be all-encompassing to address those structural issues that is feeding or that is creating that environment for these things to happen. There seems to be confusion about who is supposed to do what and who is not supposed to do what, okay? And I've also realized, based on my own assessment about the situation, that there seems to be a clash of egos in some of the cases. And for others, I think it's just a clear case of unbridled unprofessionalism or indiscipline on the part of the officers. Lastly, I've also realized that there seems not to be coherence or collaboration or coordination among the security services. It's like everybody is operating in a silo, all right? So when, for example, they seize contraband, whose responsibility is it to do what? And I think that is the problem, okay?
Do we know who does what in situations like that, Sani?
We would have it coming up.
Do we know who does what in a situation where, for example, as in this case, smuggled cocoa beans are found? Whose responsibility is it to do what exactly in order to get the consignment to where it's supposed to be?
Okay, so some of the responsibilities overlap. For example, if you come across a vehicle you suspect is carrying contraband, the customs can search, police can search, all right? And the military can equally search, all right? But for example, if it is the military that uncovered it, after searching and realizing that it is carrying illegal, items or items meant to be in the country but are being smuggled, they are supposed to hand over to the police that will do their own investigation collaboratively with customs. You get me? Okay, so we have some of the functions that are independent of others, and we have those that are overlapping. And until there's a clear understanding about some of these protocols, we would always have people feeling that it is my job that another person is doing, and that is, of course, a recipe for disaster. And by the way, Adib Sani, the Sani is double A. I can see it on the screen.
Sani will work on that promptly for you. I want to ask a follow-up. Does this matter, or does this situation become more worrying because it's in Bawku, considering the nature of the terrain of that part of the country in itself? Or would it have been equally worrying anywhere else in the country?
Well, it is equally worrying anywhere else in the country, but it is graver, so to speak, in Bawku, considering how risky the place has become and how lawless it's become because of the conflict. As a matter of fact, I have done a lot of assessment in that area, and I've come to a certain realization. There are other criminal elements who are taking advantage of the restiveness of the area to engage in other forms of criminality, including weapons trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking, and even robberies. But the unfortunate thing is, if someone is robbed and killed, the first question that is asked is the person Mamprisi or Kusasi? If he's Mamprisi, automatically it's the Kusasis who killed him. If he's Kusasi, automatically it's the Mamprisis who killed him. And that is the unfortunate thing, because I remember some time ago, and I had a meeting with the National Security Minister about an incident in Bawku that was actually land-related. Some two individuals fighting over land. And, you know, someone killed someone. And we all thought it was about the conflict, only to realize that it was a land issue that was even in court in Bolga and the rest. So the criminal elements are taking advantage of it. And yesterday, I was speaking with a journalist friend of mine who is a close watcher of jihadi movements within that enclave, who indicated to me how a jihadi in an interview told him they know all that is happening in Ghana, the troop movements, and they know about the bad blood, according to him, between the security services. So it gives this non-state terrorist actors that unique opportunity to slip through the cracks. Because if security officers who are supposed to ensure that there is safety, there is security at these areas, are rather the actors, so far as insecurity is concerned, it's definitely a cause for concern. So I think going forward, we have a lot to do beyond the issuance of statements. There's a need for an investigation, and the laws must also be fully enforced.
Is the Ghanaian public likely to hear of a report of the investigation if one is carried out? The police statement did not specifically mention that an investigation has been launched, will be launched, or anything of that sort. It did say that the matter had been resolved. You have called for an investigation into the happenings in Mesiga. Is the public likely to hear the outcome of that investigation?
Well, that has always been a challenge, the issue of transparency. And, you know, they always opine that this is the national security issue, it's not something that should be out there. Fine, I agree. But there are some of the elements to this that is in the interest of the public that we need to know. A statement is not enough to deal with the situation once and for all. Recently, we had a similar incident between, I think, the military and prison officers, in which some people got hurt. And like it is happening now, a statement was issued, and that is it. No, I think we need to go beyond and implement strategies to prevent incidents like this from happening before anyone gets killed. So in my opinion, I don't think the statement by the police is enough. It doesn't bring closure to the matter. It's a very elementary way of addressing a rather precarious national security issue that I think should be given all the necessary attention it deserves.
And before I let you go, Sani, the military has been brought once again into the center of the Galamsey fight. What do you think about how that has gone so far since the military got involved? This morning, many of the front pages of the newspapers are giving us pictures of military personnel clamping down on some of the activities of illegal mining. A step in the right direction?
Well, really, I mean, the government means well for the people, and they are listening to the cries of the people, and that is why they have, deployed the military. And you see, we have to take this from a very scientific perspective, okay? The height of incompetence is doing the wrong thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. We have deployed the military in the past. So my question is, what has changed this time around? In fact, that time, the bars was even more than it is today. Operation Vanguard, they were everywhere. It was brutal, machines, excavators were bent, but the miners returned. So the question is, what has changed this time around? Is it a knee-jerk approach? Is it a convenient way to let the people feel like something is being done? We need to have a plan. And I understand when the military got there, they didn't even meet anyone. So, what if it is an abandoned Galamsey site? We are not in a position to know. So, for me, I think the military has to work closely with the other security services, especially the internal intelligence agencies like the National Intelligence Bureau, and map out all the areas affected and have a strategy of going after them, either collectively or individually. So, something meaningful comes out of this. But the most important to all of this, Thelma, the most important issue is commitment. And the politicians to keep their hands off the work of the military. I was speaking with a soldier friend of mine the other day who told me, as if you and I know that if this thing is left into the hands of the military, Galamsey will not last beyond 48 hours in Ghana. And I said, yes, I agree, I know. But the problem is, there are some Galamsey sites that are untouchable. That's the problem, Thelma.
Sani, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Take our hands off the work of the military. Look, I trust in our military. They have been to more treacherous territories, my sister.
Thank you, Sani. We'll engage you again further for more details as the story unfolds. It's certainly a developing story, and it has developed from crystal clear waters like this, and it's developed into murky, muddy, almost unrecognizable water bodies that we've seen in recent past. Adib Sani is a security analyst. He's shared his thoughts with us on the conduct of the security agencies at Misiga in the Boku area with regards to the incident that happened following the arrest or discovery of a consignment of cocoa which was being smuggled out of the country. And he's shared his thoughts that the conduct has been unprofessional, and he thinks it's a clash of egos, and he acknowledges a lack of coordination among the security agencies. He's asked that these must be tackled so that criminal elements do not take advantage of the situation in that part of the country to foment more trouble. He also thinks the military's role in Galamsey could be better if politicians keep their hands off their operations. Nana Adubia is here for the NDC. Tabitha is here for the NPP. I'll take your quick thoughts. I'll start with you, Nana. A minute for you each on what Sani has said so far so that we can get to the concerns being raised by the NDC on electoral matters. Nana, security.
This security thing can't take only a minute because it's a serious thing. I didn't even know treat it. But I have a security person up there, and yesterday, so he sent me some. I was just trying to go to 16 points of things that are happening around, and it's a clash between security forces. How? Why should that happen? Like you were trying to ask him, whether someone's authority or whatever it is ends for another to take over, and these are things that is happening there. Everybody wants to show some kind of muscles, power, as if this whole thing is a joke. It's a competition sort of. But this is a secret. That area, Bawku itself, is not all that safe. And for these security people who should know better, who are supposed to make sure that they have peace there, are trying to rather escalate issues, bring more tension in that area. Is it the best? What is wrong with our security people? What is the issue? Because from what he even gave me, there are even relationship issues amongst them. Prison officers and police officers over women. This kind of flimsy nonsense going on up there when lives are at stake. Because in this clash, I hear one constable, is he, what's the name?
If we don't have access
Nicholas
that information.
No, was shot. He's been hurt. He's been injured. And an armored car. He even gave the car this thing, the number and all that. Because the police tried to escort the cocoa beans back to Bawku, I think there's a police station or something. Then these people also said they were trying to rather escort the people to Togo. And this whole thing, because Bawku is not
so
a
you agree
safe,
with Sani that
yeah, it's not a safe place.
Some kind of
it's not a safe place for whatever is going on at all. We expect them to be doing better, to take care of the area, because it's a security-prone areas and all that.
Let's hear Tabitha's thoughts on this. Tabby.
Whew. I was surprised to see the way the gunshots were everywhere, scattered, and you expect them to know better and to do better, and they are doing the opposite of what you are expecting them to do. I know you've heard of the Soko project, which is targeted at areas where they see, they call them insurgents, probably going in and destabilizing the whole place. Bawku has been known for a very long time to be one of the districts, or should I say municipalities, that is like, it's a hot zone. And so you should be expecting that the military or people that are in the security services conduct themselves better. And I want to see some heads roll. That is what I want to see. I want to see some people being called out. I want to see some people giving letters. That is what I want to see. Because we cannot paint a picture of an indisciplined group of security personnel. We cannot paint that picture. This is also an election year. And we should be very careful with the things that we are doing. If anything should happen, they are the very people that they will be calling upon to respond. And if they, among themselves, are fighting because of an interception of, I heard they were trying to smuggle some cocoa out of the district. So you ask yourself, where did the cocoa come from? And why through Bawku? Because we know that when you go to Upper East region, we don't farm cocoa there. It is rather at the southern belt that you get these cocoa beans being produced.
So you would want the investigation reports to be made public, so we know
should be made public, yes, and they should hold people responsible. How did it get there? What happened? Is it that the custom people don't want it to get out, and the police is saying that no, let it go out, and so there's some disagreement? What is going on? They should let us understand.
Right. Thank you, ladies. Bawku is there because Bawku is one of the known conflict hotspots in the country, and we do not want the conflict situation in one area to escalate into something that the entire country will not be proud of. So calling for cool heads, calm thoughts, and just peace and unity. Peace and unity is also what the Catholic bishops are calling for in this fight against Galamsey. Our security analyst Adib Sani talked about what role the military can play in bringing this fight to a very, very abrupt halt. But the concern remains that enough has not been done, and the commitment to the fight against Galamsey has been questioned by the political actors involved. The NDC's chairman, national chairman, has been making certain claims against the Electoral Commission on its attempt to print ballot papers. And Mr. Siedu Nketia says ballot papers must be printed based upon these submitted documents and processes, a finalized register, a finalized electoral code book, and ballot statistics provided for all candidates and political parties. He believes that these have not been done, and so the EC may use this as an opportunity to rig, is the word he used, the election in favor of the NPP. Nana, the EC has responded to this statement saying that it does not intend to begin printing ballot papers today, as it had earlier communicated, and that, as your chairman, your national chairman said, the papers will only be printed after what he mentioned, the items that he mentioned have been taken care of. Does it settle the matter for you?
Thelma, you see, this whole thing of going into this election, I don't know how this EC sees itself at all as a demigod sitting somewhere that nobody can touch or anything. Because you brought us a letter telling us to bring an agent. If we had not come out with this, or our chairman had not said anything, then I'm going ahead to do this. And based on what are you going to print papers? Because for my constituency, let's say GBC Breakfast Show is a constituency. How many people are there to vote? And so we know that when you print, by all means you make room. But at least the number of people in the constituency at a particular polling station gives you what to print, and maybe the extra. So if you don't have all this, the parties which are the stakeholders in this don't even have any of the codes, the register and all that. Something you promised us the last time when you had this IPAC meeting, that you were going to work on the register and send it back to us in a week. Is it no more than a week? So you are just not even trustworthy. We can't even trust you in the first place. Then the next moment, you are giving us a letter that we should bring agents. If you are not ready to print, why do you ask for an agent? And you gave us dates. Only for this morning to come and tell us that you've changed your mind. Isn't it mischief?
We have someone on the line to help us understand all this. But the letter that Nana is talking about is before us now, issued on the 9th of October by the Electoral Commission of Ghana, and it's addressed to the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress National Head Office, and it's a request for party agents for the printing of notice of polls and ballot papers, and it goes on to name some of the printing houses, the location and the GPS addresses attached, asking the parties to make sure that the selected candidates are report to the Director Electoral Services on Thursday, which was yesterday, October 10th, 2024 at 11 a.m. at the Electoral Commission's corporate headquarters for a brief orientation before the commencement of the printing. Of course, that letter, another one has come after that letter, this time insisting that the printing will not happen, and it's saying printing of 2024 presidential and ballot parliamentary papers, which is the title of the press release, acknowledging that it has taken notice of the statement in the public domain to the effect that the Commission has not provided ballot statistics ahead of the printing of the papers for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election, assuring the general public that printing of the ballot papers has not commenced. It says that printing of notices of poll for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, however, begins on Friday, which is today, and the Commission says that it will provide the ballot statistics to candidates, political parties, and printing houses before the printing of the papers starts, and that it will only do that after ballot statistics have been provided to all stakeholders. It also urges the public to trust the Electoral Commission to deliver transparent, credible, free and fair elections. Tabitha, I know you are dying to get in on this, but we have a gentleman on the phone line who will help us perhaps understand these issues a bit better. Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante is a senior lecturer, Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. Dr. Asante, thank you for making the time. What's your take on this direction by the EC and what appears to be the U-turn?
Yeah, good morning to you, my sister, and good morning to our listeners and viewers as well. I want to start off by saying that if you want to conduct election, the one we call free and fair election, it's an election that is devoid of any irregularity. So once you have that, building block in that definition, it tells you that anything you do, you must work against any irregularity. So whether by your correspondence, whether by actions, whether by deeds and the rest of them, you should make sure that you have this thing at the back of your mind that you are working against any irregularity. Once you go on that trajectory, then you are home and dry. From the beginning, we realized that there have been mistrust. The political parties, particularly NDC, against the Electoral Commission and the rest of them. This is not good enough. But we have come this far. So I thought that we should be able at this time to bury all the differences and make sure that the right things are done. Right? It is not wrong on the part of NDC to complain and that you told us A and you are doing B. Because you see, anything that will raise an eyebrow will obviously undermine the transparency and the integrity of the election. So much as possible, you want to avoid that. And that to do this, you should be able to engage the stakeholders at all times. And you make sure that you get the basics right. What you promise them, you deliver. Because we have heard the EC say that after the last IPAD meeting, that they are going to supply the political parties what they have done in terms of the register, so that they see the final cleanup before this. What I don't know is that did the EC promise them that after everything, I'm going to give you that register before the printing of notice of poll? That I don't know. But if that is the case, you have to deliver based on what you promised, right? So what is at stake now, what I see, is that if he will say something, tomorrow he comes back to come and contradict it, writes a rejoinder to it, and yes, I didn't mean this, and that should cease. And we saw that in the last election. Lisi would declare results. The next day, he comes out with another set of information overriding the previous statement. That's a rejoinder, which we don't need in a process like this. So if the EC is not sure about its facts or certain procedure and processes, you should hold on until you get the basics right. Once you get that, you can churn it out. And then make sure that you keep everybody abreast with the changing circumstances of the time. There is no point that at any material moment somebody will be left out and the person have to call for something. I know that vigilance is the price of liberty, but we realize that at all times, as a neutral arbiter, you should be able to create that equal playing field for everybody to contest. But fast forward, I think there is always a way out. The way out is that he see what he has promised, should be able to deliver that, and then make sure that whatever there is to be done engages the political parties, so that the body is able to carry everybody along. For me, that is the way, so that nobody will have any eyebrow raised in this matter.
Doc, thank you for keeping that very straight and succinct for us this morning. Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante is a senior lecturer, political science department at the University of Ghana, sharing his thoughts on happenings with the EC after the NDC raised questions about its intentions to print ballot papers initially meant for today, but which decision has since been removed from the table. Tabitha, I'll pick your quick thoughts, but I'll invite our audience to join us in this conversation. Our WhatsApp number 055 55 61034. 055 55 61034. What do you think about what we've talked about so far? Kaf will be reading your messages shortly, but I'll pick your response, Tabby, and then we go to the screen.
Yes. I'm surprised that the NDC is having difficulties in understanding the difference between the printing of ballot papers and then the printing of a notice of polls.
The EC gave a letter that said it was doing both.
Okay.
So that letter, I can share it with you.
Okay. So the clarification has come out that we are printing only the notice of polls. And, this whole issue, I remember when the whole Galamsey issue came and we're talking, the NDC was so quiet. And immediately after they called off the strike, we have started hearing them again.
The NDC was quiet on the Galamsey fight?
They were. They were very quiet. I thought they would have taken an advantage and at least tell us that this is what we will be doing differently. But I think that didn't dominate the airway.
I've heard differently.
No, I didn't.
On the contrary, I've heard
I haven't, because I have always been on
capitalizing on the Galamsey issue to politicize the matter rather than allowing for Galamsey to be treated as a social, an urgent social matter. That's the argument I've heard from some circles.
Yes.
That you haven't heard that?
I have heard that. But what I mean is that they didn't use the opportunity to tell us what they will be doing differently.
Let's go to the EC matter. We'll come to the Galamsey.
Yes. So with the EC matter, honestly, I am all out for the EC to do the right thing. I don't think that the EC should sabotage any political party, be it big, small, whatever size they are. I think they all deserve equal, what do you call it? They should be given the right to all that they deserve. If they say that satisfy these conditions before you print them out, it is in the right direction. I have always said that MPP will be winning convincingly. So we don't want our victory to be messed up with all sorts of allegations. No, we don't want that. We don't want that after winning, this country should be faced with any form of war or misunderstanding. No, we want to do that on a very clean slate, because our candidate from the get-go has made it clear to Ghanaians that these are what I want to do for you. And I can tell you for a fact that many Ghanaians are convinced that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the only candidate that can do something differently from what we have always been.
Thank you, Tabitha. I go to Kath now, who is at the screen, to share the thoughts of those of you who have so lovingly joined us on GTV Breakfast this morning. Your thoughts and not the thoughts of GBC. Kath.
So there's a question here. Why is MPP always okay with the actions of the EC?
Are you okay? Did Tabitha say Tabitha, did you say you are okay with the actions of the EC? There's a question. Why is the MPP always okay with the actions of the EC? It seems that the NDC is always opposed, and then the NPP has to tell us what it thinks. Are you always on the EC side?
No, we are not always on the EC side. The EC is not perfect. We must admit that they are not perfect. Just that you can see clearly that is the NDC that have that kind of a divided stance when it comes to the EC.
The NPP have had that stance when it is in opposition when it comes to relating with the EC. So is it just a ruling? Is it an incumbent EC relationship that is, rosy like the first few years of a marriage? Kaf will be having a marriage conversation a bit later. And then perhaps when you're in opposition, then we see another kind of relationship which is not as rosy, perhaps in the latter years of a relationship. Nana can speak better for the NDC.
I just want to hashtag what I said.
Okay.
I said something that I believe that the EC should be seen doing the right thing. If people bring their concerns, they should address them.
So that when you win, there will be no doubts that
there will not be doubts. That is my point.
Tama, when you look at when we saw all these discrepancies going on, anytime we go to them, it's clear. And they've even acknowledged it, even at the last IPAD meeting, that yes, there are issues with the register. So if you promise to do right, to bring it back and make sure that you've cleaned it. So why just bring us a letter that we should
The EC admitted that there were vulnerabilities with the information technology systems and that it would rectify it and let the parties know.
So have
it has led to some wrong transfer of votes and other
have they done it? Have you come back to us? You promised to bring back the registers. No, like I said from the beginning, we don't had enough time this EC because look at 2020. This is someone who came to announce the winning results 3 times. She came the first time. It didn't work for her. It didn't sit down well with her. She came the second time and the third time. So for this time around, we are just making sure that we are not going to this election as if everything is right, because we have an EC that is an extension of the MPP. We have all these people.
When the legal document backing the setting up of the EC says it's an independent.
Fine, but we know all the people there. The Atuahinis and all those people. Are they not MPP faithfuls? We know them. And so if it's an extension of the MPP, and we sit here and we want to behave that nothing is wrong, and they come and call us
more messages.
So if they were right, would they have said they have called back this letter?
Let's listen to
right. So they know that what
listen to the
voting
voting population on the screen.
More messages 05555561034. Good morning. I like this headline. Ghana drinks poison. Democracy should be about the betterment of the many, not the few self-serving manipulators. And this is a reference to Sunny, who was on the air a couple of minutes ago. I'm happy Sunny asked what the military is bringing on board. When the military and the security forces started burning excavators, CSOs started condemning the military. And so the military were withdrawn from the sites. Now they are back. King Dave, still on Galamsey. As I flew into Takrady from Accra last Wednesday, I could see the sea making every effort to reject Galamsey polluted River Pra from mixing with it around Shama. Even if the sea is protecting its inhabitants from mercury poisoning, how much more us? This is from David Debe. And so far, that's what I have. This is from Nigeria, watching from Ilesa, Nigeria. Why all these controversies surrounding electoral umpires in Africa? It's time we move away from this unnecessary embarrassment. Olawole from Nigeria.
Olawole Oshe, thank you for reaching out to us. Your former president, Goodluck Jonathan, is in town, and he's sharing some good advice with all of us here. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for joining our conversation and for being a part of this panel. Nana Adubia Awoke Kelly, a member of the National Communications Team for the NDC, and Tabitha Ayila is a member of the National Communications Team speaking for the NPP. Ladies, we'll do this again another time. Thank you. And we'll take a quick break. When we return, GTV Breakfast continues. We are joining every attempt to fight one cause for God and country. Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now.
The show. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq, and we're counting down to election day. 57 days till Ghanaians go to the polls to select their parliamentary representatives and the president of Ghana. And by January 2025, we will know if today the party that's seated for us to have a discussion on their policy plan, that's the National Democratic Party, the NPP, will be the one in charge of governance. So today we are going to gauge into the mind of Mr. Mohamed Frimpong Al-Haji, I should say. He is the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Party. You do know that the party was formed by the former First Lady and the wife of the former President Jerry John Rawlings, Nana Konadu Ajiman Rawlings. In 2012, it was a breakaway from the National Democratic Congress. Send us your questions to Al-Haji Mohamed Frimpong as to what sector of the economy that is dear to your heart and you want answers to. 055-556-1034. That's our WhatsApp number. Alternatively, on our GTV Ghana stream, we're streaming live there. Al-Haji, good morning. Salaam alaikum and welcome to Manifesto Watch.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Great to have you. First matter on the table is this colored water. Al-Haji, I'm sure you just saw River Prime meeting the sea in that video that, you know, our cameras, our drone captured. How does this speak to you?
Well, thank you very much. In the first place, we thank Almighty Allah for today. And let me also say Juma Mubarak to Ghana. And my warm salutations to the former First Lady, Dr. Nana Konadu Ajiman Rawlings and her family. And as well, all NDP members countrywide. Thank you very much. The color you see is what I call a result of some inadequacy in, let's say, governance and leadership. You know, I'm saying so because this water definitely is coming from a locality somewhere, and the people watching it to turn this way should have also known that definitely this was not the water they were born to see in that locality, you know. But more importantly, you know, normally governance and leadership goes to make sure that at least we can align what we call a collective will and might, you know, with our aspirations, national aspirations. Definitely, this is not this is not wholesome or potable water. Our aspiration is, rather to have potable water. So then you ask yourself, why did this thing come about? Okay, first and foremost, we have not organized very well into the communities.
The mining communities?
I mean, governance-wise, okay. We've not organized very effectively. You know, I'm saying so because look, we have a privileged attachment to our antecedents, you know, that had given rise to the Fourth Republican Constitution and democracy, for that matter. We have seen an era where, you know, nobody could have even attempted this before. Now we come into a multi-party democracy. You know, the Constitution prescribes certain ways of organizing society or mobilizing the people to our common objectives. You know, this just shows you that we have not adequately organized ourselves or mobilized ourselves to our common objectives. The common objective being that definitely, nobody should be going about this and creating this. Meanwhile, you have people who may be living just along the shores of this very river. You know, so that's the first thing. Then you're talking about probably the exercise that is ongoing now. In the first place, it shouldn't even have taken place in the first place. But it has had to come. Why so? You know, we have what we call wheels of democracy. It's not a new thing. You have local governance structures in the communities where these things are coming from. You have what we call unit committee. You have the assemblyman. You have also even the assembly itself. MMDCs and so on and so forth. Would you say that they were sleeping? You know, we are talking about decentralized government. You do not necessarily need the president to move down from, let's say, the Jubilee House or wherever, you know, to be the one to go down and be doing this. So if this thing has not been carried out, you ask yourself, why did it come about in the first place? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that we don't seem to be leveraging, you know, our collective will and might at the community level.
Okay.
And that is what has brought about this.
Alhaji, the Catholic priests are on the streets this morning. They're demonstrating. Organized labor yesterday were going to lay down their tools before they had to call off the intended strike. The demonstrators who have been demonstrating, and some are in remand, have expressed frustrations because there's been information out there that some government appointees are deeply involved in Galamsey. And so, Alhaji, if you're saying that there's the structure, there's the district assembly, the local governance structure, if you're the president and the structure is not working, what will you do?
Thank you very much. In the first place, we are embarking on a primary policy, you know, which we term as governance and leadership. Governance and leadership, what we intend doing or what we intend achieving by that is inclusive and participatory leadership. And that is very, very important. You see, you need to have inclusivity and participation by the locals so that they will augment whatever effort the executive, you know, is carrying out. And we are not saying that our democracy should just hang in parliament and at the executive level. As a matter of fact, we have a people's democracy. And that is what the Fourth Republican Constitution prescribes. You know, so in the localities, if we had the unit committees and they were provided effective functionality, alongside with assembly members, I mean, they should be able to leverage the power of the executive and making sure that these things are stopped. It's very simple. Normally people talk about the Ghanaian mentality and so on and so forth. We must revamp our social and moral fabric.
Okay.
We should revamp it. And somebody will say, how do we do that? It's very, very simple. We know what is good. I mean, we are a nation, we know what is good for ourselves. And, once we are able to revamp, social and moral fabric, we would then not be doing certain things wrong. And our collective will and might is determined by the laws that we have.
Okay.
The strength of the will and might that we have is just determined by the laws that we have. So you see, if we were minded, and had the local government structures working effectively, I mean, there's an issue of even unit committees just handle it easily. Okay. You see, then we must also have institutional democracy. So these are wheels of democracy, which we term them. That must be working. From our political antecedents, I think those who have lived long enough will have witnessed a few other things. Probably before the what do you call it, coming into operation of the Fourth Republican democracy. Before then there were these things going on, but did anybody ever see this kind of water with high tepidity? We may not. So it's a matter of us not organizing very, very well. If we had done so, I think this thing could have even been taken care of by simply unit committee structures.
Okay, Alhaji, I'll come fast to go intensively into how you'd manage our mineral reserves, since we've talked about Galamsey and how you're going to turn around, Ghana's gold, diamond export locally, and then the ones for the foreign markets. But let's talk about you, Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong. People want to know, how did you get to where you are? Where were you before you went into politics?
Well, thank you very much. I would say my life has been a trajectory of leadership. I've been immersed in leadership all my life, but more specifically from campus, at the University of Ghana. I entered University of Ghana in 1979. By 1981, I was very much immersed in student politics. I was a JCR rep, that's Akwafu Hall. I was the JCR rep on the steering committee of the SRC. And normally when you have representation, of your hall in JCR, at the SRC, you become like a NUX executive. At the same time, let me say, concurrently, I was also the president of the Brong Ahafo Students Association, that we call it BASU, the Brong Ahafo Student Union, as it were. That's the Legon chapter. So going forward, around 1981, the revolution struck. The 1st December 1981 revolution struck. In fact, we were the pioneer, should I call them cadres, we were the NUCs, whose members which executives, were spread throughout the country to disseminate, the moral, should I say, the new morality that the nation was trying to forge, throughout the country. How I was responsible, with other colleagues for the Brong Ahafo at the time. The Brong Ahafo region comprised the present 3 separate, entities, or the 3 regions. We have the Bono East, Ahafo, and Bono itself. We did that up to about, April 1981, and then came back, So to be involved in campus politics also required a lot of association, with other individuals. In those days, they termed us as the socialist club, as it were. But that is it. You have a lot of colleagues, whom you mingle with, and then shared ideas.
Okay.
We looked upon our country as, not trying to be, a puppet of the so-called multinationals and that kind of thing. So we're real patriots at the time. But of course, there's a limitation to which you can carry such ideals. So, some of us, given our humble background, grew in this. And ever since, I would say that I've been a community organizer most of the time. When after school, I did a brief travel to La Côte d'Ivoire, returned to do my national service. After service, I was invited, into a publication, Africa Flamingo. Matita, I don't think that time.
I was born.
We went into Africa Flamingo. That was a publication. I was the admin and business manager.
That was a lot. So from leadership, you went into business.
It's business. Okay. Seriously, it's all business. No, business and leadership are the two.
Went concurrently.
Yeah, even to date, it's virtually the same thing.
Right.
So,
what were the successes along the line, though, and the challenges?
Well, certainly there have been challenges. You don't attain all your business goals at one stretch, but I stayed on to make sure that at least, because you may have employed a few people, I went more into engineering related, activities.
Okay.
I did, security alarm installations. I became virtually like, a consultant. I was involved in the Parliament House, fire alarm system for a very long time, Ministry of Finance.
Oh, okay.
I also went into hospital engineering. I'm associated, the electrical and mechanical consultants community, know about me very well, because I had a company called Stinghold Limited,
right?
Which they knew about. I am involved in the construction of the two major mortuaries in Ghana. That's at Korle Bu.
Okay.
I've been in hospital engineering. I've been in a whole lot of things. Presently, I'm in project marketing consultancy.
And since you brought Korle Bu up, let me just ask you if you've seen the current state of the mortuary at Korle Bu.
I am very much
as
aware.
President, what you'll be doing about
I'm very much aware. I'm very much aware. You see, the issue is also that in the supply chain, you have a problem. I'm saying this intimately. You do an installation, maybe, I remember the Korle Bu mortuary was done in 1990, let's say 1990. 1990. The first one was done in 1990. The other one was done, I think, 2006. All these firms have either been sold or folded out. So today, if you used, let's say, a particular firm in the construction, probably today they are no more. You can't find them. It's not that maybe they are not in operation, but they have sold their company out to a new entity. So you may not get the same.
So it's a change of hands of the management of the mortuary.
And just like salt, they can melt out completely in the system.
Okay.
So it's very, very difficult. So if you don't take care, either you replace or you do a new construction altogether.
Right. Is that what you will do?
Certainly.
Are you going to pull down the mortuary and put a
in? Certainly. This is what I think, because the old stuff, it's been there in 1990. How many years now? Is it 34 plus?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe a lifespan of about 40 years is enough.
Right.
Then you have to change the whole thing all over.
Okay.
So I've been around, and
it's interesting to know.
I've had my hand, in little things around, but more particularly with the electrical and mechanical consultants community.
Okay. Let's talk about the party breaking away from the NDC. So you were part of NDC politics. You ran as a parliamentary candidate.
Yeah.
Was it for the NDC or as an independent?
Before the NDP.
Okay.
Before the NDP. The issue is that in 2011, or 2011, or 2010, 2011, you know, I took part in the parliamentary primaries for the Bigger Wija.
Right.
You know, that's where I live. The Bigger Wija comprise current Wija Gbawe, and then Amanfrom, what do you call it, English Amanfrom, then Gan Central. I mean, that's Otuom area. You know, so it was a much bigger, you know, probably people termed as the largest constituency at the time. We went through the primaries, then the incident of Funka Game started. You know, Funka Game started, and we all had a loyalty somehow. So after hearing, you know, reports about, you know, whatever went on, I mean, definitely we took sides. I mean, those who will be here will be there and that kind of thing. But you see, just before we went into the 2012 election, the Bigger Wija Gbawe was divided into three.
Okay. But tell us a bit about the Funka Games just before.
Well, the Funka Game is purely an issue of internal trust. You know, I mean, it's just about an internal trust. And it's just not about any, let's say, you know, like I have a gentlemanly discussion, agreement, and that kind of thing, and probably we don't keep it. You get me?
Okay.
And if I feel that I should hold on to whatever we discussed, then definitely that's what it entails. You know, but that is not an issue to, you know, be discussed into detail.
So you lost. You lost in all the attempts to be the parliamentary representative for the Greater Wija.
That's only one. I stood for once.
Once,
yeah,
okay.
In 2012.
And you were not able to make it.
I didn't make it.
Okay.
Because you saw, you know, coming from where we were at the time, and then the breakup and a whole lot of things, you know, it affected us.
Okay.
And more importantly, also, our flag bearer was not able to, you know, we were disqualified. It's like being decapitated, you know. But we held up in the various constituencies and tried, you know, to continue with it.
Okay. Yeah. And the former flag bearer of the party, what inspiration did you draw from her to stand today?
Thank you very much. You know, I keep on saying that we're a party that's privileged, you know, with attachment to antecedents, you know, leadership and what have you. Antecedents to the Fourth Republican dispensation. You know, we have leaders who are very compassionate, very humane, you know, and I should say that there's evidence, of course, to state that, you know, you have you know, the late spouse of my founder, I mean, they are founders, I mean, two of them, the Rollinses, as it were. You know, this is a couple that infuse a lot of compassion, I mean, humane provisions into the Fourth Republican Constitution. I mean, you remember it was being stated in certain paragraphs in Working with Rollins that he was placated with all the niceties about compassion and humanity into the Constitution. These are what? That is developing the rural areas, rural electrification, today the free SHS that we are talking about, poverty alleviation, virtually all the social intervention issues that you see in the Constitution today is an infusion from the compassion and the humanity, you know, of the former couple, first couple, you know, so that is how they are. And more importantly, you know, of course, this year, the former First Lady is not standing. But apparently, if you remember, you know, I always say that as a former First Lady, she could have just been enjoying the glitters of the metropolis.
Why did she decide not to stand anymore?
Oh, well, I mean, there's always a time that you call something a quit. You get me? I mean, she's mentored us sufficiently and thinks that, you know, we can take over. You know, that's the beauty of it, you know. So she just, she's not bowed out. She's not bowed out, but she still wants to make sure that at least, you know, we are following up, you know, on her mentoring and inspiration. You know, that's what we're taking up. But back to the word, you know. So here was a former First Lady, you know, whose main pleasure and delight were, I mean, the nooks and crannies of the rural areas, making sure that at least, you know, she could inspire women to be on their own, you know, making sure they supported their spouses in household economies and what have you. You get me? So this is the kind of inspiration that we draw.
Was her husband disappointed when she broke away from the NDP?
Not at all. As far as I'm concerned, why should she? That's what I'm saying. It's an issue of trust. And that issue of trust remained with them.
Did she lose trust in the NDC to push the ideals that she broke away from?
It's a question of trust. The issue is that, you know, she was supposed to contest anyway. It's not that, you know, her contesting make her break away. That was not the issue.
Okay.
The real issue was that, you know, she was built to contest that yes, I mean, flag bearership.
Okay. For the NDC.
Yeah, no, for the NDC.
Okay.
For the NDC.
Okay.
And it turned into something else.
Right.
That is all.
Okay.
So you get me?
Right.
I mean, like, we're in the same party. You know, you are the president, but we agree that, okay, maybe at some point in time, I must also contest, you know, and that was the issue. So it was probably taken into some other issue altogether. So that's what I'm saying. It's purely an intimate and a trust matter. So.
Right. So since we are talking about the ideals of forming the NDP, let's talk about the policies that are, you know, at the forefront of the NDP.
Thank you very much.
First, you tell me, is it health, is it education, is it rural development and electrification, as you said the First Lady used to do, go into the nooks and the crannies?
Look, you see, coming into governance, we have what I call a 4 interconnected policy strands. Okay? We have 4 interconnected policy strands.
Right.
One is primary, you know, without which all the others are merely prescriptive. You know, the primary one is very, very important to ensure the success of the other ones. So governance and leadership is primary, you know, and in that, you know, we want to achieve at least the organizational and mobilization first of society. And we want to also make sure that we have inclusive and participatory leadership. Because after all, democracy is power to the people. And that's our slogan. You know, so we want to ensure that at least power really belongs to the people. And then we are also saying, you know, in order to achieve that, you must have what we call wheels of democracy, which we call COBs, Community Organization Bureau. You see, the local governance system has structures that are very either dormant or even dead on arrival.
It doesn't appear that there's community organization in this current democratic
Nothing. I mean, the unit committees. Okay. I don't know where you live, but have you ever seen your unit committee approach you on any issue about your community? Have you ever seen maybe your unit committee coming to summon you that maybe there's a sanitary problem here, or sorry, if there's any little problem?
Why don't they do that? The people are there because they are beck and call.
Because they should be, you know, made to function from, you know.
Is there a problem of funds? We hear about the common fund and the distribution, allocation of the money, budgeting.
Let me say that. That's what I'm saying. Governance and leadership is so important. You know, they must be inspired into working, you know, within the ideals and framework of governance.
Okay.
You understand? We have MMDCs, isn't it? We have MMDCs. You know what they do? It's part of the decentralized structure, and that's local government. The local government is put there to make sure that at least the communities can have certain dealings, you know, directly at the community. It's decentralization, or better still, in certain jurisdictions, they call it devolution. You get me? You know, so it is still some part of the power of the executive that is transmitted down.
So you think if the executive is failing?
If the executive does not stand firm and ensure that they work, you know, it's less a structure of communication from the very floor of the community, you know, through the MMDAs, you know, to sector ministries or departments and agencies. You understand? So if you don't deliberately make sure that it functions, there will be a problem. So it's part of the extended executive powers in the community. Unfortunately, you know, that is not to be. You know, you've been hearing about district level elections, you know, is it 2 yearly or whatever. We do it and virtually we don't see anything. And presently you have your assembly members who also have pushed themselves up, raised themselves up at the level of the MMDAs. They no longer come to the community.
Do you subscribe to some NGOs, civil society organizations who say that DCs and MCs should be voted?
Very fast.
You ascribe to
we
that?
will do it immediately. You know, the you see, it's part of the democratic, the democratic powers of the communities. That is very, very important. In fact, this government, the present government, Nado's government brought the idea, but I think somewhere along the line, there was the usual crossfire. You know, it got dead in crossfire, you know, between the minority and the majority. But the substance is the most important thing. You know, I hear, you know, there mustn't be, is it Article 5.5, you know, sub clause 3 or so, which says that at the lower local government level, there shouldn't be any political party participation. You know, but the issue is not whether there should be political party participation or not. After all, the universality of local governance all over the world, you know, whether you like it or not, even from the people we are copying this from, there is some kind of political party activities.
Okay.
You have representatives who do what you call surgery. They go, you know, to the communities and talk to their people. In fact, you have parliamentarians who are even closer to their communities than probably even the local government structures.
Okay, Alaji. Let me just remind our viewers, you're watching Manifesto Watch, and today we're sat down with the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Party. We're looking at the ideals of the party and the policy documents that Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong, who is the presidential candidate, is espousing. He's talked about the community organization bureaus that they will be setting up. We've talked about Galamsey a bit, and now we're talking about we are going to youth and employment opportunities. There's a question from one of our viewers, but send us your questions as well on 055-556-1034. That's our WhatsApp number, 055-556-1034, or our Facebook page, GTV Ghana. Alhaji, one of our viewers is saying he wants to ask what the plans of you or the party are for the youth of Ghana and to restore Ghana if elected as president. Also, the issue of Galamsey, the measures to deal with the miners. Benjamin Akpalu from Nitawu.
Okay. You know, I was, you know, in the process of trying to give you what we call our primary policy.
Right.
The primary policy is governance and leadership. That is the one that supports virtually everything. Otherwise, all other politics become prescriptive. You know, so what I'm saying is that, see, we want to revamp our social and moral fabric,
yes,
which is very, very important.
That.
You know, and what is it? You know, we must think alongside our collective will and might, as determined by law. All these, yes, all these things that we are talking about. Sometimes we go into certain countries and say, oh, when you go to I mean, this a particular African country, you can't do ABC. But here in Ghana, you can do it, you know, free with impunity. I mean, are we different? We are not different. It's just because, one, either, you know, the social and moral fabric is ordered, which mustn't be the case mustn't be the situation in our case, because we are a multi-party democracy. But we also can use our laws to make sure that at least we bring it about. So that is it. So when all these things are done, the end goal for us is to have what we call full employment. That's zero unemployment, you know, for the youth.
Zero unemployment. So the teaming
zero unemployment.
Close to 2 million youth. What are the avenues that will be getting jobs?
Very good. You see, we normally take data from Statistical Service telling us about, you know, all the indices, macroeconomic indices and what have you. You get me? More particularly, if you look into the provision mix of, you know, let's say the economic basket, you will learn that certain areas are doing well, or other areas are not doing well. I mean, quite recently, if my memory serves me right, we hear about 21.5%, is it food inflation or whatever? I mean, it looks as if that seems to be a little bit high. The problem is that, you know, from rule of thumb, you know, if you have these statistics, what it tells you is that a particular area needs more attention, either in the short, medium, or long term.
What's the plan?
Good. The plan, for instance, we are an agro-based economy in the first place. So, you see, the primary wealth of this country are the people we have. Our primary wealth, you know, is the people. So, if we are getting our things right, you know, in Agric, there are a lot of research work that have been made available. You know, there are lots of research work, you know, probably gathering dust on the shelves and so on and so forth. Today, if you decide to get the best irrigation method, it will be made available.
Okay.
If you want the best cropping method, it will be made available. You know, we have our trained, you know, personnel. So if we are going to go into Agric, there must be a plan. I mean, sitting here, I'm not telling you that we've worked out all these things, but what we are saying is that we're going to leverage, you know, our human capital and capacity to ensure that anything that we want to do, you know, gets on very fast. But if you don't organize first in the communities, you go and then you don't even know where to start from, you know. Okay. So we are going to use, that's what we are saying, that, you know, we are going to create wheels of, you know, democracy who are also going to leverage on economic opportunities in the communities and so on and so forth. So in the industrial sector, you know, if in the communities there are maybe some agro-based industries to be looked at, we must look at those things. Okay. And this,
are you reviving Dr. Nkrumah's over 200
well,
factories? Or
maybe I won't call it Dr. Nkrumah's thing, but you see, you're talking about development plan and that kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. You see, we have a lot on our shelves. Okay. We have a lot, you know, by precept and so on and so forth. So we must not lack. The only issue, just like everybody tells that, is leadership, governance, leadership, and governance. People see it as abstract, but we are not taking it in abstraction.
When you take office, there are problems already that you'll be meeting, like over Ghana's debt stock, over 700 billion Ghana cedis of that. How are you going to tackle that?
Thank you very much. You know, how does this thing come about? Most of it is how we also manage our foreign exchange, you know, leverage on, that's what I'm saying, leveraging on our own capacity. There are, you know, when I talk about creating the wheels of our democratic development, the COBs that I'm talking about is not going to be limited only to the communities. We also have professional communities, you know, think tanks and what have you, and I think we have a lot of them. You know, the government must not take all the trouble, to think that it should plan and be able to carry out everything, on its own. Once you you place the appropriate governance and leadership situation on the ground, there are always the possibility of getting, certain ideas, from not necessarily within government, but within the nation.
Okay.
So we place people far above politics. What we are going to do is not just partisanship most of the time.
Are you running a lean government or you're running a large government?
Yeah. Thank you very much. You see, at any point in time, you must put your ear on the ground. You know what has happened with Galamsey thing. All of a sudden, because we probably did not take certain things into consideration, now a whole country is rising up. You understand? It means that, the country, something that we think is abstract, the will and might of the nation, is being put into display. So if you are talking about even whether we are running a lean government or not, definitely by the exigencies of the time, you must plan to make sure that you have a lean government that satisfies, people's aspirations. The issue of, or the question of lean government comes about when people think that the delivery is not meeting aspirations. Whether it's lean or not lean, So collectively, if we are all putting our hands to the wheel, then you realize that at any moment in time, we are delivering to the national aspiration. After all, what's the goal? It's livelihoods, livelihoods, livelihoods.
Okay.
If these are met, then people would then understand that at least there is constant delivery. Okay. So that's I'm only saying that there's no hard and fast rule. I hear people say, no, it's going to be lean. It's going to be lean. What is lean? Okay. It's going to be 10. Is it going to be 20? And so on and so forth. Sometimes you even have 20 and it might not be lean, depending on what you're delivering, with your 20
Okay, will we see you go again after the 2024 polls if you do not win?
Well,
in 2028?
I'll leave that to the will, first of all, to the will of Almighty Allah, okay. And then more probably, also to my party,
okay.
If they so wish.
Thank you, Alhaji. We have to go. That's all time will allow us. We've been speaking to the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Party, talking about a plethora of issues. He talked about Galamsey. He's talked about, going into the community, tackling the root causes of our developmental issues. From there, the community organization bureaus is touted as one of their policies as well. We'll bring them back on the show if there's time. I am Maltiti Saida Sadiq, but we're crossing over now. Jay Gabra is on standby to bring us a protest by the priests, and they are the Holy Spirit Cathedral at Adabra.
Thank you so much. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast, and we are coming to you live from the Holy Spirit Cathedral, where the latest in the slew of Stop Galamsey Now protest is set to take place. This time is the turn of the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of Accra, where they intend to embark on a peaceful protest from the Holy Spirit Cathedral all the way to the Christ the King Church in Accra. So as you can see from the scenes around me, a number of them have convened here, ready to start the march at 10 a.m. The Knights and Ladies of St. John's here, heavy police presence as well. And at this point, I would like to invite one of the conveners for the march this morning, and what I am, to speak with us. Good morning, sir, and welcome to GTV Breakfast. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and good morning to you and your viewers.
Okay. So thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. So what motivated the church to embark on the Galamsey protest at this time?
It is not an issue of at this time. We have always been very much concerned about this, about destruction of our environment. And so every year, in fact, for the past 9 years, our bishops have issued consecutively 9 communiques. Okay. They've issued 9 communiques that have communiques that have spoken about this problem, about this issue. And so it's not something that is just happening. It's just that this time we think that in order, to add to the various communiques and the various letters that we've been writing, we need to put some action to what we are doing, and that is the reason why we are embarking on this walk.
So what is the role of the church beyond this protest? I know this was only the beginning, but beyond this, what do you think the role of what role can the church play in fighting to stop Galamsey now?
In fact, this is not the beginning. This is along the line. The church has been seriously engaged in advocacy for very long. I'm sure you've heard of Father Blay, who has managed to get a community gemma in the Western region to declare that town a no Galamsey town, and Father Blay has been working very hard amongst other priests and other religious and other members of the church. Indeed, the church has been so much involved in advocacy and education and all of these things, trying to get the people alternate livelihoods. So this is just one of the things in the process, in the long line of things that the church is doing. And beyond this, the church will continue to play its advocacy role. Yeah. The church will continue to do education. The church will continue to get some of these people other sources of income instead of depending on destroying our.
Organized labor was supposed to embark on a strike yesterday, but based on government interventions that they've put in place to stop Galamsey, including sending soldiers onto the Galamsey side, destroying their equipment and everything. I'm just surprised that you are still. Are the interventions not enough from government? Have you engaged the policymakers to see if you can discuss with them going forward what you can do to help curb this menace? Is it enough? Is it enough?
I'm sure you know that this is not a demonstration. This is a prayer walk. Now we are praying for government. In fact, that is what we are doing. We are praying that government will have the energy, will have the wisdom, will have the willpower to be able to carry through whatever intentions they have, to be able to do what will stop this Galamsey menace. So we're actually praying whichever way. In fact, before the government announces, we said we'll pray that God will give them wisdom and knowledge for them to be able to come out with something. Now that they've come out with something, we're going to pray that God will help them, because it's not just, it's one thing saying, we'll do ABC. It's another thing actually doing. And it's another thing for that intervention to actually yield the results it will. And so we are going to pray that these interventions will actually be carried out, and that these interventions will also yield the results. We saw Galam stop, we're seeing all kinds of things, and they didn't work. We're going to pray that this time around, whatever interventions the church is coming up with will work.
Okay, so what message do you intend to give to Ghanaians, especially those involved with the illegal mining?
To all Ghanaians, we are saying, look, this is our land. The Lord bequeathed this to us, and we are supposed to take care of this land. And so every Ghanaian should wake up. There is nothing partisan about this. If we will die, we will not die because we are in one party or another. We will die because we are in this land. And so everybody should sit up, everybody should get involved, and let's make this work. For those who are in the Galamsey sites, we are praying that the Holy Spirit will touch their hearts. That whatever the motivations are, they will begin to think more about Ghana. They will begin to think also about posterity, so that we don't destroy what God has given us, so posterity will have nothing to hold on to.
Thank you so much, Edward, and I wish you all the best for this peaceful protest. Yeah, so they begin all the way from here, Holy Spirit Cathedral, to the Christ the King Church. The police will be sure to ensure that there are no miscreants who enter to spoil the whole prayer walk. It's a peaceful prayer walk. They are praying for the country. And this is the report we have for you from the Holy Spirit Cathedral. Back to you in the studio.
Your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
Actually, I'm on a line.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quick.
Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. Good morning, welcome to the show. And we're here in our relationship corner with two people who between them have maybe 50, 60 years of relationship and marriage counseling advice divided amongst them. The man is Reverend Dr. Kisiedu. He's a marriage counselor, chartered biologist, author, singer too. He may sing for us, who knows. And Reverend Dr. Nanaya Usu-Prempeh is our very own relationship coach. And they are asking, what is the role of men and women in marriage? That's our topic for today. If you have any answers or any questions, let us know. 055-556-1034. Both Reverend Doctors, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Bonjour.
Bonjour. How are you doing?
Bonjour, Papa.
Bonjour, Madame.
Madame. Yeah.
I mean, when we discussed this yesterday in our meeting, the role of men and women, I was thinking, man, this is really, it's so obvious. But sometimes it's good to ask the obvious questions. Reverend Dr. Kisiedu, what is the role of men and women in marriage?
First of all, it's the man who gives identity to the woman. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.
The feminists will not like this statement, though. A man giving
You see, you discover yourself before you marry in God. But the man giving identity is the man who makes the woman feel you're part of me. Because people have died and left property and left so many things, and the woman didn't feel I'm 100% part of the man. Or in the area of finance, in the area of communication, in the area of companionship, like 50%, 60%, 30%.
So a man gives identity to a woman?
Yes, in the marriage.
In the marriage.
Yes.
Reverend Anaya, do you agree?
Make her feel she's part of you.
I don't think
she shall be called woman.
Reverend
Because she was taken out of me.
Well, baby Papa, good morning, everyone. Good morning, GTV viewers all around the world.
Yes,
good morning.
indeed.
It's good to be back.
Yes, we're welcome.
I missed you.
We welcome you. We miss you too.
And a happy breast cancer awareness to all the women watching.
Indeed.
We are fighting together.
Maybe so.
So, Papa, I think the identity he's talking about is when I marry and I take my husband's name. Because besides that, we all have our own identity. God, of course, created the man first and said, this shall be your helper, your helpmate. But now we see that you can walk into a home and you see the man helping the woman because the woman might have achieved more than the man.
Is there a confusion of roles happening there, Reverend?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's you work mutuality, you work together.
Okay.
And what I mean is that in the relationship, make the woman feel part of you. By making her, that is why I said, you shall be called.
You shall be called woman.
Woman, because you come from me.
How do I make my wife feel a part of me?
Love. So a man shall live. Until the sperm moves to the egg can be fertilized. There will be no humans. So the man must take initiative and forsake your closest relatives. And the scripture told us that it's your father, mother, representing the closest, to bond with your wife. Now the bond is love. Love is obedience to God, but also look for the welfare, the interest, the needs, the rights, and the opinions of the person. Respect them all. And you say it, you do it, and you behave it.
So the role of a man is to love his wife?
Love a wife.
What is the role
to
of
begin with.
Okay, to begin with. What is the
as
role
a foundation.
As a foundation. What's the role of the woman, Nanaya?
The role of the woman in the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22, from 22, 24, the role of the woman is captured as to submit to the man.
She doesn't have to love the man?
No, that's not what the Bible says. I mean, you're asking me that what the Bible is telling us. So the submission will make the man, the love that the man is bringing to you, make you also reciprocate the love. Woman can love more than man. A woman can show love more than man. But the love must emanate from the man. That is why our traditions have it that it's the man who will chase a woman. You understand? But now you see a lot of turnarounds where the woman is chasing the man.
Role reversal?
The role reversal comes in when leadership is lacking. The headship was ordained by God.
Absolutely.
And that gives order in the marriage. The leadership directs the love. You can't have love without leadership. Because the Bible in Philippians 1:9, your love must go with knowledge and discernment. So know what you're loving and know who the person is. In one of my books, I listed about 12 kinds of gifts. So when you're buying and giving a gift, know what you're giving the gift for. And the first gift is yourself. You give a whole of yourself. And the primary area to give is your mind, which comes through your words. Because the mind controls the body biologically. So spiritually, the mind also controls the spiritual being. That's what we're giving the mind of Christ, the humble, obedient mind. And scripture is what works that out, that mind. And so you bond to the woman through the love by saying it, doing it, and behaving it. For example, when you correct me when I'm wrong, you may behave in a way that is contrary to your words and your gifts. You see, women are emotional because of pregnancy, childbirth, and the rest of them. So women are more heart people. They feel what we don't feel. And we are more mind people because of our leadership and headship.
No, you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Now
he's my father.
But you can
I have to agree to my father. Now from here you will ask me.
The head has the brains to think, eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell trouble, and a mouth to talk.
But why, if women are women are more emotional and men are more maybe cerebral, why are we the ones who are supposed to love the woman?
You are supposed to love them because love goes with your leadership. You see, if the sperm doesn't move to the egg, even at the beginning, there's no life.
Okay. And the woman is supposed to submit.
Submit to his leadership.
What does a submission to leadership mean? Let me ask Nana, and I'll come to you, Reverend.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I think it all boils down to respect and the fear of God. The Bible says that as the man is the head of the house, so is Christ the head of the church. So we as the subjects of Christ, if we want to show that we really love and appreciate Christ, then we have to show that to the man who is the head of our homes.
What is a practical expression of respect to a man or submission to a man?
Never insult your husband, the man in your life. Never. Even when he's wrong and you want to correct him, you don't raise your voice over him. And you have to be very honest with the person. You have to be truthful to the person. If I say obedient, I will get a lot of backlash.
Because the 21st century woman doesn't want to hear this kind of stuff.
No, but that is the way to love. That is the way to have a successful marriage.
Reverend Kisiedu, what is submission really?
So you submit to the God of the person. Like as a Ghanaian, submit to the God of Ghana, the God of your boss, the God of GBC, the God of the... Then you submit to your duties. If God were here, what does God expect you to do in the life of the people? Expects you to do in GBC or as a Ghanaian. Then thirdly, you submit to the institution. So that we use the word commitment. If you are in a school and they all wear this uniform and they start class at this time and close at this time, it has nothing to do with your religion or whoever you are. You obey the laws of the campus. Then you submit to the person in terms of the person's needs. In fact, one of the main things God wants us to submit to is the person's needs. So if you marry and an in-law is giving you problems, she or he would have given problems to anybody else who came to marry. Because the home you want to marry, take it as a mission field. So the more problems you see, the mission work is hard. So make a difference like Moses and Jethro in Exodus 18, 8 to 10, telling the father-in-law what God has done. Let them see the power of God in you. And you treasure the relationship. And love must be sacrificial. Love corrects, but love also gives freedom. A love that doesn't give freedom is not true love.
All right.
So if you are not correcting, then you don't have love. But do it in respect. When you say a child doesn't respect, what are you talking about? The way the person communicates, the body language. When the one doesn't do what you ask the one to do, then you are not respecting. So if you know these are the needs of the woman, And when you marry, you break through 5 circles of father, mother, brother, sister, and friend. So in some cases, you have to be like a father, sometimes like a mother, sometimes like a sister, like a brother, like a friend, because all these people cannot come and perform those roles because you have taken her out of her home.
Are you speaking about the man or the woman?
The man.
The man.
The man.
Okay,
yes,
so what
the man went to the woman too.
Okay.
Because if you look at 1 Corinthians 7 verse 3, the man must render affection, calculated giving. This firstborn, lastborn, this one who doesn't know who the father is, whose daddy died when he was young, and who came from a home where he spoiled, housemates were doing everything, whoever it is, render affection, which you call in our language a krokro. And the woman likewise, because a man is an initiator, and the woman is a responder. If you don't go to the egg, fertilization won't take place. You must move and join to your wife.
Okay, so now...
So submit to your husband. The your is important. You chose. If you can't submit to the leadership, your duties, the institution, and then the person, then don't marry the person.
Okay, join this conversation. It's not just a 3-way. We can make it a multi-way. 055-556-1034 is a WhatsApp number. 055-556-1034. I'm here with Reverend Dr. Samuel Kisiedu and Reverend Dr. Nanaya Owusu-Prempeh. Reverend Nanaya, so Reverend Dr. Kisiedu has given us the role of the man. You're supposed to
open your eyes. I want to see your eyes.
I'm thinking with my eyes closed. So you've got to initiate. You've got to make the move. Make that move right now, and then she responds.
Yes.
What for those brothers who are making the move and are just met with a wall of coldness? What do they do?
That is part of life. I mean, failure is part of life. Rejection is part of life. And I believe that the more you try and you don't succeed, the more you gather momentum, the more you get your experience. It is a saying that experience is the best teacher. You know, you build your own resistance and now because you have the experience. But then you must also understand that when every woman is rejecting you, you must do your homework and assess yourself.
Not every woman, or your woman.
Oh, your woman.
Yes.
Why will your woman reject you?
That's what.
No, so you do your homework. You see, I have said severally on this same platform that communication is the glue of relationship. And it cuts across everything, whether it's a business relationship, romantic, whether it's religious, communication is the glue. And so if you and your spouse are having back to the wall, everyone is sleeping left and right, and the bed is wide in the middle, you have to dialogue. You must dialogue, sweetheart. What have I done this time around? What is the problem? Is there an issue? That the woman will say, no, everything is okay. That's how much.
And that's not true.
Everything is okay. Everything is fine. That is the more reason why you should even keep asking, because everything is not fine. So the tone, because a man can say, now what is the problem again? With that same expression, I'll say nothing. Because your expression of what is the problem again means that you're already bored with my problems. You understand? Oh, baby girl, is everything okay? I don't see the smile. How difficult is that, Papa? How difficult is that?
I see the way Reverend Ivy.
For you to approach your woman with love, affection, and kindness, so the woman will just retaliate with double. So remember, everything you give a woman, you get double or more.
So the men should check their tone.
We multiply everything. Check the attitude, the way you approach the woman, what is in your head, even when you don't mean so well. Just appear you are meaning well for that moment, to get her to express her desires to you, her disappointments, and what is going through her head. Because remember, this is the woman who is warming your bed with you, who is keeping you happy in bed. And her joy must be your joy. If you want to be happy, you better make that woman happy. If you want to be sad, continue in making her sad.
055-556-1034. Reverend Dr. Samuel Kisiedu, let's talk about the roles of men and women in the home. Husband, wife, family.
Yes, you see, relationship started with God. It took Father, Son, Holy Spirit to relate before having God. And relationship started between God and an adult male. So men are leaders in relationship. A relationship among humans was an adult man and an adult woman. So there was no baby. The baby was born after the fall. So parenting started in the sinful state of man. So the adults who started must relate. Now there are 5 relationships in every home. Father and mother relationship, that's